For 3 hours.
I think they're just going to hear you say for 3 hours or something like that.
Live from Saturday night, it's a KWC.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to this. We're just getting right into this.
You should just start with GVR going,
Too late, we already started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's KWCC, or whatever month it is. I'm your host, Kaiju X, and with me today, I have co-host GBR, Harley, Nagoda, and Bacon, the lore master.
Nagoda and Bacon are both muted because Bacon's at work and Nagoda's probably doing something.
Okay. Also,
and Harley's going to leave in a bit because her mom needs to get weed.
it depends on when she gets back. I have time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, GVR apparently was extremely enthusiastic to take Rebels, which I don't mind at all. So I'm gonna pawn this off on you, my man.
Okay.
Gremlin.
First match is we're just gonna go right into it because we got a lot to cover. For preface, though, we are going to just cover the matches up to match 400. We're not going to be covering Saturday morning March, the event that's going on right now, till a later point. So, that's probably going to be maybe next month, maybe whenever it is. In addition, we're just going to be covering 2 KWCEs because the third one just came out literally today, I believe, or yesterday.
Yeah,
basically super recent. So we're not going to be covering match 97 of the KWCE. We're going to be saving that for also a future time period.
Yeah.
So, with that said, GVR, tell us about match 394, Dagara versus Legion.
This is rated Scap.
Yeah, match 394, written by Ultimate Ditto, aka Landon Soto. I actually did not read this match initially when it came out, but I did read it today in preparation for the podcast.
Nice.
And I thought it was pretty good. The writing, in terms of grammar and repetition and stuff like that, did leave a bit to be desired. I think that could have gone through a bit more editing. But the match itself, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed like the. I enjoyed the fighting between Dagar and Legion. I enjoyed like the interactions between their respective like armies.
Yes.
The Legion soldiers fighting the Baron was really good. Loved the military in the middle dealing with it, and just like how it very much felt like a city under siege. Banner is excellent. It's a very great artistic piece.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's all I really have to say. Just like good fight between two Horde masters. Uses both Legion and Dagara's abilities very well. I enjoyed the creativity of how Dagara ended up defeating Legion. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Kaiju X while
Yeah, I know.
people type their thoughts.
Yeah, I know. Friggin' yeah, no, I thought the match itself was a lot of fun. Friggin' like again, it was sort of as you illustrated. It was just like just sort of like the combination, sort of like the way the monsters sort of interact with each other, with a lot of sort of like weirdly fun and enjoyable abilities combined with like, you know, the soldiers having to deal with their respective swarms somewhere in the middle of all this. It was just like, ooh, that's kind of neat. Even if the soldier side plot like isn't like super. Like, I can't always expect, like, you know, everything to be, like, a super in-depth, like, oh my gosh, you get to know these characters or whatever.
Yeah, no, like as I mentioned, the military, it's not like, it's not quite like a movie where it's like, there's named characters and stuff, but it's just like, I do enjoy, like, the bits and pieces shown of, like, the military and how they're doing with it.
Right. It's just sort of like, meanwhile, the military is trying to cope with starfish and insects. Great. So
yeah,
it's simple and straightforward, but for this for you know, obviously the focus being the titular monsters in question, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking oh my gosh, Thomas Johnson and that banner. Oh
yes.
I wish we got some killer banners, don't get me wrong, but friggin' Thomas Johnson just friggin' I think gosh. It's such a hard toss-up between this one, the Godzilla vs. Gamora one, and the Space Godzilla vs. Destroyer one. They're all killers in their own way, but I think they all very much possess their own unique strengths to where I can't properly say, oh, this is my favorite, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. But it's still just like stellar material, stellar artist. Cannot wait to commission him again. So, oh man, yeah, that was just fantastic. Yeah, no, I just love the way this looks, and just fantastic detail, top to bottom, excellent attention to detail. Holy crap! And then back to the actual match though. It was just like, the sequence of I think the battle keeps a decent enough pace. Yeah, there are parts where it's like like certain maybe grammatical issues that could have been covered a little better, but I don't think it's too detracting, I don't think. But there were other there was like I don't think there was anything overly detracting, but at the same time it was like there could have been more improvements before it went up to the site. But it is what it is. But friggin' just friggin' killer banner though. Friggin'
yes. And Harley, you said you have not read this one? Oh, sorry.
I was merely making a joke.
Okay.
I did read it. I thought I pretty much agree with you. GVR, that was fine. Like it probably could have used a bit. It probably could have used a bit more polish here and there.
Yeah.
But I pretty much agree with what you two said. The banner is like by and far the best part of the whole thing. No, let's be real.
Isn't that how it almost always is?
No, not really. Only when it's like a hand-drawn banner.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty good. I have like no complaints. So.
And hey, oh yeah, that's right. I think this is like, for those that keep tally, I think this was Dagara's first match in like what, 3 years?
Yeah, we don't get a lot of Dagara matches, nor a lot of Legion matches.
Right.
It's a shame.
It's a shame, but hey, we got 2 for 1. Hooray!
Yeah.
So
Bacon says he liked the match. He liked that they're finally back after all this time. Action is solid, art is fire. Pretty good match with some holdbacks. I agree with GVR on the editing front. Kaiju Fan Forever says, this was a great fight. Like the air battle, it was very unique with how both fighters are built. Beautiful banner, and like the horde battle as well as the undersea fight. Great personality and action all around. Yeah, I actually forgot to mention that. I loved the usage of the Sub-Adult Legion.
yes. Yeah, at the way beginning there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Anything in the YouTube chat?
Yes,
Kaiju?
I was just about to read from Gojira 41 MK11. Happy to see Dagara back. I've always liked him. The way it was written threw me off a bit, but overall it was pretty good. And the banner is beautiful, of course. And then King Little Caesar in the chat says banner is really good. Also howdy. Oh yeah, it's been quite some time since Dagara had a match. He says.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, no, but here he is. He's back. And the winner of the tournament, you'll have to read it for yourself, right?
I already spoiled who won.
Oh, right, I forgot.
I forgot.
Kaiju match has been up for like 3 months.
Spoilers!
Yeah, you can't spoil what happened 3 months ago.
Yeah. Nagata, what do you think of it?
We're past the spoiler threshold at this point.
Yeah.
Well, the banner is really nice looking. I like the whole like swarm against swarm thing going on here, and like how the military is caught in the middle of like fighting acidic starfish and big bug monsters. Yeah, and also I like how you kept in like the whole Legion makes oxygen in the area rise up drastically just because that flower needs to be able to launch into orbit.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of Legion matches, it doesn't really use that aspect of the Legion where they actually purposefully increase the oxygen in the area around them so it can explode.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting on Legion versus Destroya.
Yeah, no kidding. We got Legion.
That's how they breed.
Yes, Harley, we know.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Man, Legion was just
What a nerd.
wouldn't it?
Okay, go ahead, Nagata.
Oh no, that's all I have to say. Is like it's a really fun match.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
You're
All
good.
right.
You're good.
You're just quiet, but that's standard.
Yeah, I kind of had
Yeah.
to bump you up to like 170%. So if you suddenly change to something else, please let me know. So that
Yeah.
way,
Discord be like that sometimes. I don't know why.
No, Harley, Nagota's turned up. Not you. You were turned to 1%.
I know. I was making another joke.
Oh my god. But yeah, for you to what you call it, yeah, no, it's just sort of simple, simple, straightforward battle with two monsters that hadn't seen action in a while. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, no, GPR, we ready for the next match, or is that just me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. Fortunately, most of these matches are going to be covering are short and like simple. We got a few big ones, except for 398 and 400.
Yeah.
Those are not the case. But anyway, yes, moving on to match 395. Godzilla Legendary, Mothra Legendary, Muto, Skullcrawler, and Behemoth versus Rodan Heisei by Joshua Strip Matter. Continuing on for match 306. And the banners by Andrew Sidorowski.
Hey.
This match is really good. Really enjoyed it. I remember very much liking the match that was continuing off of. And this match continues that high quality, as to be expected from Strip Matter. I enjoyed the usage of the Rodan pair. It's always appreciated to see. Trying to think. It's been a good bit since I read this match, especially because I didn't actually read it on the site. I read it when I was editing it. So like exact details are slipping my mind a bit.
Yeah. No, that happens. That happens.
It's a very long match with a lot of things happening.
Mm.
But what I will say is that I remember very much enjoying the ending, how that all plays out. And just it uses both Rodans very well. Feels like it could fit into the Monsterverse very well, which is the way it's all laid out. Banner's great.
Hey.
Good job on that one, Kaiju X.
Hooray!
I love the snow and the glowing of Mothra, the Skullcrawler in the darkness. All of it is very good.
Oh no, I use sprites on the banner. I have to be punished.
Oh, the trading battle sprites?
Yeah.
They're fine as long as you like use them well and don't make them stand out too much. Because I understand the hesitation towards using them because they are very low poly sprites.
Yeah, and very pixelated too on top of that. I do try to like, clean them up, refurbish them some, and make them look blend in better to the... Yeah, I don't just slap them in there. I do a lot of work to like make it look good. So...
I mean, it's not even just them where it's like you got to do work on it. Like whenever I see a match where the banner has like figures and the figures are like you can see all the joints and stuff, I don't want to say cringe, like that sounds bad, but it's like I don't like seeing that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, naturally, because it's like you want to be immersed, but then it's like, oh my gosh, well, all these joints. Is this part of the character's biology?
No, there's this wonderful thing in Photoshop called the clone stamp.
Yes. It's been my best friend when it comes to that kind of thing. It's a shame not everyone has Photoshop.
Yeah. If only Adobe didn't suck and charge $1 million.
Pretty much.
Yes. I remember I also love how this match like sort of deconstructs the typical ideology of the Monsterverse matches and like the Monsterverse monsters themselves, where it's like nature must be kept balanced and anything that goes against that must be murdered. With how the Rodans are very much depicted as in the right for just trying to fight to save themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The highlight of this match is definitely like the personality of all the monsters. Yeah. Good stuff. We'll pass it over to Kaiju X.
All right.
Let him talk.
Yeah, no. The match itself, really enjoyed it. It's a big, nice big spectacle. Nice big sort of like big battle. There's a big old rumble between a lot of monsters, and it's like that's a lot to cover. But I think everyone at least plays enough of a part. I'll admit I don't fully remember. Skullcrawler tends to slip my mind, despite the fact that he's in the match. And it's just like, he was just like maybe he was just one of the ones that maybe didn't need to be there, but. It still fits for the most part the general theme of Monsterverse versus like the Rodan pair. And again, as illustrating as you said, that was just like sort of deconstructing the whole nature has an order thing. Let them fight. When the Rodans they're just trying to have a freaking kid. Right, Noodles? Anyway. But yeah, it's like I didn't mind it per se. I know that it's still written really well, and I think if you're a big Rodan fan, you're gonna get a kick out of it. It's like, oh heck yeah. And I think the one scene that actually kind of stands out to me is Mothra's death. I think her realization of their wrongs was a great sort of a illustration of sort of like the central like theme or idea for the match. Which was that was great stuff. And then it was just what a kind of like weirdly somber end, appropriate with an ending appropriate enough to fit as an homage to the original. I do remember Strip Matter saying that he did have he was thinking about including Legendary Rodan in there, but between the naming convention just sort of like balancing it out with everyone else, it was just kind of like not really needed.
Unless you had like something very specific in mind for that, better to keep him out.
I think it was definitely for the wiser to keep him out because it kept the action. You still got a sense of like the action going on and whatnot, so you didn't have to worry about 3 Rodans and blah blah blah. Is Legendary going to go turncoat? It's like, as fun as that could have been, I guess. It's just not something that was ultimately needed. So
Yeah. My advice as always is to make sure that you have something very important for every monster in a match.
yes, absolutely. That's how.
Like, don't just throw one in because it'll be cool. Like, don't do that.
Right. Only do that for assist characters because they don't count.
Yeah.
Joking aside, though.
Or if you're writing a match that has like 50 monsters in it, then you're allowed to just have some that get killed off in 5 seconds.
Yeah, of course. There'll always be exceptions to that. But yeah, no, I still really enjoyed the match through and through, though. I will point out some fun factoids with the banner as the banner maker for this particular match. As I have outlined already, it's like I used the trading battle sprites for the Rodans, which also surprisingly keeps consistent with the previous banner, which also uses the trading battle sprites. But that's actually not the only area where it was used. If I remember right, the yellow glow around Mothra uses some trading battle assets. The lightning effects on Rodan's, like on the beam and on the crescent horns, are from trading battle. The actual beam is from trading battle, just modified around a lot. And even the sonic boom from the female Rodan in the background there is actually a trading battle asset, just heavily modified.
How many PNGs of trading battle do you have on your computer?
Yes.
It's like, oh, I extracted the beam from trading battle. My man, there's these things called brushes.
Well, I'm built different, all right. And actually, another really cool fun fact that unfortunately the female Muto kind of obscures, but if you look behind the female Muto, you will see a building. There's sort of like an abandoned building right behind.
There's buildings in a city?
Yeah, I know, buildings in a city. That's amazing. But no. If you look behind her, there's a building. And what I wanted to do, or at least what I wanted to suggest, is that the building behind the female Muto is the same building you're looking out from the previous match. So this is sort of like the other side. Sort of like looking at it from like the other side of the like literally like you're looking at it from the mountains in the background of 306's banner, or something like that. So I just wanted to do it was just something like I thought that'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we did this? And even
it's something no one else will get out of that.
No, absolutely.
It's very cool, and like the fact that you mentioned it now, I remember you telling me this before, and like mentioning it now, like yeah, that's very cool. But it's like no one's gonna guess that.
Right. No one's gonna be able to make those dots unless it's pointed out. So that's why I have to like point it out, because yes, that was a very deliberate decision on my part to be like, oh yeah, random building in the background is meant to be the other side because this is like the same location. And I think even the PNG, were the PNGs themselves? Hang on, I'm double checking. Yeah, or I tried to recreate it to the best of my ability in I tried to recreate the older buildings to the best of my ability with the rust effect and whatnot. But yeah, no, that building in the background meant to be the same. It's behind the female Muto, so just look between her legs and you'll find it. So yeah, no, that was probably
it's sus that you would say that.
Bruh.
Harley's gone. Someone has to do it.
Bruh.
Yeah, no, that is a fun factoid though, because it's like this is taking place in the same area.
Yeah, in the same area, so it all works out.
What you should have done was just taken 306's banner and then like slapped all the other monsters into it.
That would have been brilliant. Yeah, no, Mount Fuji is in the background of this one, but unfortunately, the one image I felt like could work with it, like it just would not like. Yeah, it was just not like working with me, but the image still looks nice all around, so I'm not necessarily like too much at a loss, but it's like you could still vaguely see like part of the slope between the male Muto and Mothra. Sort of like you could just barely make out the line of definition that is part of Mount Fuji right there. But otherwise though, it's just like, otherwise though, I was like, yeah, no, those were just a couple of fun factoids when it comes to sort of like this particular banner, and just again, a lot of fun to make. Really enjoyed making it. So, yeah, no, I'm glad to have done the follow-up to Strip Matter's very first KWC match that was posted on the site. I would like to clarify, because obviously not all KWCs are posted in the order that they are written. So, for the sake of technicalities, yeah, no, sequel to Strip Matter's very first match. I'm glad to have done a... Not only am I glad he made a follow-up to this, I'm glad I also made a follow-up to this, in a way.
Kaiju Fan Forever says, how dare the author make kaiju feel emotion and create bonds? They deserve to jump into a tank of electric eels with a plugged-in toaster for making them have emotions. Now into the series, this was incredibly well written. I love the bond the Rodan pair had, and what a somber and tragic ending. I love all their personalities. Mothra was written well, as was Godzilla when he realized the errors of his ways. I felt so terrible when the Rodan pair died, and I liked how it challenged how Godzilla thinks with how the balance of nature and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not a lot of people, but there's like a small group of people who seem to complain whenever matches have kaiju emotions.
Right. Kaiju emotion rights. Okay, so Harley had to buy her mom weed? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and no one else read this one that's on in this call, so it's just like anything from the YouTube chat.
Okay, yeah, looking at that right now. Maguba has hopped into the chat. I'm here, yay. Oh no. Wait, okay. Okay, good. But yeah, Kojira says your available emotions for Kaiju are angry, none. That is all.
Yeah.
But Maguba says, "Oh yeah, this match, it good. Joshua knocks it out of the park again." Yeah, the King Little Caesar just adds on. It's like, of course there would be people complaining about monsters having emotions. Like, how do you expect to invest in characters and relate to their story? You think you think
I am here for big lizard punch big monkey unga bunga.
Unga bunga, yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, freaking whatchamacallit. Oh Lord. Yeah, no, how else do you expect to get emotionally invested in a story? Like punching someone? Guess that's their philosophy on life. But yeah, no. Other than that though, I don't have anything else to elaborate on. As far as I'm consciously aware, I think I've covered like every little factoid I could with the banner that I made. So, GBR, if you think we're ready, then we're ready.
Yeah, I think we can move on to Orochi versus Dagora.
Right.
Written by Declan Coughlin, banner by Dao Zhang Mao.
More.
Thank you.
Okay.
I am aggressively American. I do not know like a lot of foreign stuff.
Meridian, we can't blame you for that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yes. This match is from a new author, and for a new author, thought it was pretty good. There's not a whole lot going on here. It's just a very simple, like, Monster A meets Monster B, they fight. But it's written well. It uses two monsters who don't get a lot of screen time in the KWC and uses them both quite well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the author messaging me like before he sent this one in, just like asking me to proofread and like asking for ideas because he asked for a proofreader, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help with that.
Aw. Hey.
Yeah, gave him some ideas on like how to use Dagora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any Dagora match is always appreciated, just because like he's our weirdest combatant, so a lot of people don't use him just because it's like it's difficult to write someone like that.
Right. He's weird, but that's why I love him, even though I haven't written enough matches with him. I need to write more matches with him.
I need to write a match with him.
Quick, who'll get to it first?
Yeah, just very fun match featuring Orochi and Dagora. Banner is good. it's not Nagota's most solid work. I can tell it's an older one, and or he just kind of like slaps together.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, it still is good. It's just like you can tell when a banner is like when the banner maker was cooking when they were doing it, and when they just like opened up a JPEG and then slapped some PNGs into it and like that's done. I'm done.
I think this was during when I was like tired of like devoid of like creativity for that moment.
Mm.
Like when I was just like, I don't know what the word's called.
Burnt out.
Yeah, burnt out. There you go.
Yeah, understandable.
I was gonna say devoid of emotion, like the kaiju, says every Facebook commenter ever.
Yeah. Like the gore is not even glowing in the banner.
That's fine. We can live with it.
Yeah, Nagota, don't worry, I'm not roasting it too hard because like it's still better than my banners.
I think I got that Dagora pic from like a black and white image too.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, just like
But like I think if you look close enough, you can still see like the grainy magazine like texture on it.
yeah, it's from Planet of the Monsters, right?
I
No,
think
I
so.
think that's, or is it from Planet of the Monsters?
I don't remember.
Doesn't look like it, but I could be wrong. Like I said, Nagoda had mentioned it being black and white, so I imagine it's a production still.
That's weird.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, no. King Little Caesar says that, like, yeah, I think it is a production still.
That makes sense.
Which, yeah, no, that's I'd say all the more impressive. The fact that you're able to color in a black and white, like I wouldn't be able to guess. Then again, I'm color deficient, so I may not be the most reliable for that kind of information.
Dagor is always a weird one to make banners for, anyway. Just because it's like
I found it. I found the picture. The picture I used. Here we go.
There he is. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I think that might be okay, I think that might be Planet of the Monsters. I recognize the lighting near the bottom.
Yeah, that's like a still from Planet of the Monsters. Yeah, because it's like it's like a TV thing, and like it's drenched in color.
Yeah. Okay, okay. All right, we found it. Confirmed. Planet of the Monsters version added to KWC. Let's go.
They're the same thing.
Yeah, they look the same anyway. Same shape, same amount of tentacles.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. We're not going to be too stingy with that. We're fine. But yeah.
Yeah, Pedrix, what do you think?
I have to say, is it my turn? Yeah, no, I think this is like I said, new match for the new year. But yeah, that's why I forgot to preface with the previous ones. Like, oh yeah, that was the last match of 2022. This is the first match of 2023. Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah. New year, new writer. And yeah, no, I think he comes out like I think he comes out decent. Like he's got a decent obviously it's simple, it's straightforward and kind of to the point, but hey, you can't always floor everyone, but I do see promise with Declan, and I'm hoping to see more of his stuff in the future. And from spoilers from the future, I think he kind of improves bit by bit from the matches I've seen. So like, hooray! So it's always happy and exciting to have like a new writer join us in like PvC shenaniganery. So.
We always try to be welcome. I know it might seem intimidating sometimes, but no, we welcome new writers with open arms.
Hell yeah. Let's go. You just got to be good. Get good.
Yes. Yeah. Nagoda, should you read this one?
Yeah. I don't remember much about it. I think it's a simple, nice match. I think I remember the Goro gets like blasted apart a couple times. The banner is not my best work. But other than that, the match is fine. It's good, simple match.
I want to go back and go with the banner real quick. Like I said, not to go to strongest, obviously. I still kind of like Dagora feels like the weirdly more out of like it's weird.
Yeah,
to
Orochi
say-
looks good. Him coming out of the crater looks fine.
Orochi looks fine.
Yeah.
Like there could have been more going on in terms of like moon dust spreading around or whatever. It's still alright, but for you, yeah, it's like
Good. You need to make it like my banners, where there's a million effects, dust everywhere, because I want to just obscure everything with the smoke tool.
Yeah, just ignore that Orochi's in like a 12,000-meter deep crater right now.
It's all right to go to legendary Godzilla ignores like walking through San Francisco Bridge when there's clearly a lot more water under it. We're fine.
Yeah, no, in the Hong Kong fight in GVK, like Godzilla and Kong are both like 1.8 times the size they're supposed to be, to make them stand out more.
Yeah. So
it's movie magic.
Movie magic, baby.
No, you see, that's where Manila gets his growing from.
Yes, all kaiju can in fact change their size at will. They just like being around 100 meters tall.
Yes.
Exactly.
What are they? Singular points? Oh! But yeah, figured. Do we have any comments in the?
Yeah, Bacon says Orochi vs. Dagora is sure as a match. It's not that good, but new rider and cool banner with unique monsters, I suppose. And Kaiju Fan Forever says, I feel this was written before Orochi got his profile updated, since now we know Orochi would sneeze and Dagora would be atomized. That being said, this was still a solid match with an unexpected winner, interesting cliffhanger at the end. Dagora was portrayed well, as well as his amoeba-like build, earning him both a meal and a W. Yeah, it's funny. Just any Orochi match, given what we know about him now.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, I don't think it's.
I think this was written after the update, but
I'll point this out. It's like, yes, after the update, there's a lot of things that sort of recontextualize Orochi being much more powerful compared to what you see in the movie. But I still don't invalidate the interpretation you feel that's like, oh, if you just see the movie, then that's all right, because that's ultimately sort of like the.
We at the KWC are not a versus debating power scaling platform. Like, we would like you to keep to the general depiction of power levels, but like you can vary it up as long as you're not having like Baragon beat up Grand King Ghidorah. It's fine.
Right.
As long as you aren't just constantly exploding entire planets for no reason.
Right, that too. So yeah, figured.
Yeah, that one match where it's like Baragon and Anguirus are fighting Monster X and Showa Mechagodzilla. I don't know if that's slide nowadays.
Yeah,
at least you need to do a lot more. You need to do a lot more writing around it.
Yeah. So for sure. But yeah, figured. What? Hold on a second. I gotta try and save this. Hold on.
Yeah. No, the people need to see this.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is great. All right, hang on, folks. This is great. Freaking memes. Look out!
From Gojira 41 MK11, the best. Nope.
You know, I hope this turns out to be the thumbnail for this live stream. Just this was like, oh yeah, Dagora in the middle of the sky. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, no, this is worth it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no.
Oh man. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Are there any more comments in the Discord?
Nope. Just people laughing at.
Okay. Gotcha. Then yeah, no, I got a couple comments here in the Discord. King Little Caesar says it's nice that we got another match with those two. Kind of want to try and make a banner with Dagora. Maguma says this is a pretty unique combo of monsters. It's fun to see how Orochi's beam blast and Dagora's acidic no cell meets Dagora on the banner still looks a bit weird though. Planet of the Monsters, the start of the movie. I think the render just came out weird looking. Gojira says the teaser at the end felt pretty forced. And yeah, no, that was just kind of in regards to the match itself. The rest of it was just sort of like in comment of like what we were mentioning earlier about power scaling, how we're not a versus debating thing. That's the Facebook comments of our matches.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't follow the versus battles wiki, making Heisei Godzilla solar system level because he scales above Showa Godzilla, who's large star level based off Showa King Ghidorah being superior to the Garoga nuke because of a single statement that is taken horribly out of context, then we're going to reject your match and kill you.
Can't forget regenerate from a single
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Heisei Godzilla is beyond
If you have a
time.
monster in a match blow up a star, we're going to reject it.
No, you see, Godzilla can regenerate from a single cell. That's why all those skin samples that were dropped in Return of Godzilla turned into their own Heisei Godzilla. You
Right.
see?
Right? He achieves this by matching Mecha King Ghidorah, who can time travel. Dig blast versus debate. Oh my gosh, that's a whole other can of worms right there. Jeez. But yeah, trying to think. Did we have anything else to really cover here, or is that like kind of good?
No, I think that should be everything. This is not a complex match. We don't need to like sit down and debate the finer points. Like it's just
philosophy.
Jellyfish versus God, dragon, serpent,
right?
Moon Man.
Moon Man, yeah. But yeah, pretty good. Yeah, no, we're ready to head on over.
Yes, to match 397. King Kong Showa versus King Cobra. Written by Brandon Sheehan.
Oh yeah, Brendan Sheehan, yeah.
Banner by Landon Soto. This match is pretty fun. Always enjoy matches where it's like, well, yeah, the two monsters locked in an arena for the enjoyment of an audience is a match idea that I'm surprised hasn't been done more. Like so far, it's just been Legendary Godzilla versus Showa King Kong, and then Showa King Kong versus King Cobra, and then like an idea that some of us have had.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I don't think there's been any other real matches where it's just like an arena, like a coliseum.
Not that I can recall. Do we have one in the boxing ring, or is that just me?
Oh well, that was in the boxing ring, but like that wasn't like for people watching it. That was just like they were fighting in the boxing ring, which existed because
apparently that boxing ring existed for mechas to train.
Yeah.
Oh wait, didn't the Ultraman versus Grand King Ghidorah have something with that? Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the ring. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
like
yeah.
It was in the boxing ring, but it wasn't like in an arena.
Okay, right. Not for the enjoyment of people. Oh, right.
Yeah, it was just like the boxing ring existed for the sake of like mech training. I'm talking about like they've captured two monsters and like put them in an arena.
Where for a live crowd, yeah.
Both have been Showa King Kong for some reason.
Right.
I guess that makes sense. King Kong's generally known for being ferried from place to place against his will.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, just kidnapped and dropped into like some random theater arena area. This is how King Kong is.
My man parties so hard he wakes up in Australia.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Kaiju X. So, well, first off, just like real quick, banner's pretty cool.
Hey.
Yeah, very much enjoy just like how that looks. And that's it. Kaiju X. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I get like when I was reading it over, I really enjoyed the match. There was a slight post edit in concerns to like a typo that we discovered after the matter. It was just like, oh, okay, fixed it up. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed sort of like the fight and the dynamic between sort of like I think one of the biggest highlight for me is sort of the light usage of electricity. Like it's there, just a smidge, but it's not the thing.
It makes sense the way it's used.
Yes, it makes sense the way it's used. It doesn't. It's not the thing that makes Kong win. It's just, but it gives just enough influence to like do what it needs to do without like, completely like, oh, this is just another electricity makes King Kong powerful thing. It's like, no, not this one.
Yeah.
This one goes for a slightly different direction. One that I personally kind of like was like, yeah, no, that was good. That was good. Likewise, too, this is also based on a like a Godzilla the series sort of like influence from Cash of the Titans, I believe is the name of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was like that. So it's a fun sort of like fun kind of like a set piece. It's a really fun set piece. And yeah, no, like I can't like yeah, them like ripping some of the like stuff out of the wall, if I remember that right. It's just like and then just sort of like yeah, no, it's a straightforward fight, but it's still kind of like a like there's fun that it has with the whole like caged environment thing, and then how the people react to the monsters fighting is also another enjoyable attribute for the match. So and yeah, no, love the banner. Really love the banner from Landed Soda. That freaking just superb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just stellar work. Just yeah, no, I love it. Sort of harkens back to match 98, I believe, the debut of Spyler and Wargilgar. Sort of like you got people's silhouettes in the foreground, and they were kind of watching from an environment, seeing the monsters off in the distance. Except this time, it's closer, more personal. Oh, but yeah, no, it's like really enjoy sort of that composition being brought back here for this particular match. And yeah, no, I think the monsters are well utilized and just yeah, no, good stuff. Good stuff. I will also say this is going to probably be a little detail once again that people are probably going to miss, but if you ever share like the link of the match on like another website or on Discord, or if you use the share feature with Twitter or Facebook, you will get a little
preview, a little like description.
Yeah, a little description.
Is that how you get them?
Yeah,
yeah, because it's built for like Discord, Facebook, stuff like that. I wish there was a way to see it just like on the main site.
Yeah, no, that'd be nice too, because it's like we do put thought, like we do put thought, and sometimes that thought's never properly translated in the like when it comes to like what's shown. There's a lot more to show, so if you know where to look, it's like, hey, there are these neat little descriptions. And sometimes you can't read them all either, which is another problem. But it's like, just
yeah, like I noticed the description for $3.95 on the Discord preview in the general chat, and it's like, will order be restored?
Right. But yeah, this one in particular I wanted to share just because it's like most of them are just sort of like, it's like, here's what the match is about without spoilers. But this one I wanted to do something a little different, and I was like, oh, this would be a fun way to make it enjoyable for those that have the eye or the ability to notice. Announcement: come join and participate at the live showing today. King Kong versus King Cobra, a battle of kings, a tussle of colossi, an experience unlike any other. This program is sponsored by Spielkorn.
Hey, great shot.
Hey.
Greetings. Apologies for the lateness.
No, you're all right. I was late as well, so we're good.
Yeah, I've taken control of the podcast because we have so many matches to go through, and I'm not sitting here till like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Good night.
But yeah, no. Now that yeah, no, that was just an extra little detail on the show in the description, just because it was like, I think it's fun. And it also shows people that's like, hey, we got more, at least the ones in the blog format have some kind of description. Some are a little more bare bones than others, and others are a little more excessive than others, but it just depends on the match.
Yeah.
Otherwise, though, it's just like, yeah, it's just a small, cute little detail I think people probably appreciate, or, be able to look and it's like, oh, that's cool, or that's kind of cute. So a little sponsorship in the description thing of the match. I was like, hey.
They gotta get their sponsorship money, bro.
Of
That's bank.
Yeah.
And for the commercial break, it's Raid Shadow Legend.
No, God, no.
I thought I rejected that one. Harley, how could you?
I don't know what you're talking about. All I am is making a reference to the hit mobile game, Raid Shadow Legends.
I'm going to. I'm deleting everything. I'm deleting the server.
If you enter the code KWC 2023, you get a free login chip-in token. Ronda Rousey will come and beat up your mom.
I think a code from us would like make the game cost more.
Oh, Snap. That sounds like such a good deal. Speaking of which, this episode is brought to you by Marvel Snap.
Die.
No, you see, a code from us wouldn't cost more. It just send our money to Toho.
Yeah.
This program is not sponsored. It'll never be sponsored.
Nope.
Like today's sponsor, Audible.
Don't forget Loot Crate. Oh my gosh. But yeah, pretty good. But yeah, no, it was just great. Small little details like that, always fun. This is sponsored by Bai. Anyway, Grace. Well, I'm like, yeah, no, that was it for me. And I guess, I guess we could continue down to circle back to Gray Shot up top or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harley, did you read this match?
Me?
Yes.
I thought it was pretty good. I do like the GDS influence. That's not the Heat crew for one.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of it being like a giant spectator sport. I wish we had more of that.
I was just saying that.
It's not something you see a whole lot. It's not something you just see a whole lot, you know? So I really do like the band. I like it. It has kind of like that kind of bar feel where like you're watching like the game on the big screen with like a beer with your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has that going for it, and that's the kind of the vibe I get from the match, and I really dig it.
Yeah. I mean, it is part of the match. Like it literally says like everyone in the crowd is drunk.
Yeah, I know, but I like that. It's like a
yeah,
weird,
no, that's fun.
It's like the weirdest evolution of football in my life.
Yeah, no, it's a good detail because like it contributes to the overall feel of this one.
especially because with that kind of mindset, you can just hear the crowd going. Or like whenever like King Kong's doing something cool, they're all just making monkey noises. It gives it a very unique atmosphere.
Yes.
That's all I got.
All right. Go, did you read this one?
Yeah, it's nice. Like a nice simple fight in an arena. King Cobra was kicking ass until they decided, oh, let's help him out. That backfired immediately. Man, it's almost like they rigged the game.
Never. These bookies are legit, yo. That's why I put $200 on Khan.
Exactly. Don't you know? The world needs him. That's why he has to win.
Of course.
And that's why he's sponsored by Manscaped.
Oh gosh.
It's also why he comes from Mondo, but apparently he needs to go back to Faro.
No, he needs to go to Faro because he's Nero. Nero? Faro.
We understood the joke.
Boo.
I'm gonna send you far away.
It's not my fault you don't appreciate Sesame Street, GBR.
Sesame Street killed my grandma. Okay.
God damn. Maybe she deserved it then. I don't know. That sounds like a skill issue to me.
But yeah, pretty good. I forgot it.
Great Shot's next, right?
Yes, so yeah. Great shot.
It's been a while since I read this one, but no, it was good. I was happy that Kong survived. That Kong was able to pull the win, even with some interference by outside forces. But solid win on his part again. This would have been great in his month.
Yeah.
But the GTS setting is honestly awesome, and it definitely was I think like from Brendan, it's not definitely a good match, but the possibilities of doing like if he were to like set up like a tournament or something in this kind of setting, I think you could definitely see some like amazing potential here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh heck yeah! No, that'd be great. Like expanding on this to like a proper tournament arc kind of thing. That'd be interesting. That would definitely be something different for like if this does like propel into like sort of like a sequel, or even if someone else decides to say, "Oh hey, I'm going to do a sequel to this," or whatever. Thinking it's just like that'd be interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah, because like you could do a lot with like a Spiel kind of tournament setup with like that setting and having like all the monsters come up and having a variety of monsters fight each other and making sure it's different each time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the best way to put it is like a better version of. You guys seen the movie 65?
No, I've not.
No, I have not.
It like I would say that this is it had a good concept, good match. In that case, it's like. You could see him running with this potential matchup, like running and like going crazy with it. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Like with this potential like setup, I like in regards to like the Spiel, like having Kong fight for his freedom, like because he's still trapped, like he's still like he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. Oh yeah, and great banner by Landon.
All right. Reading from the Discord. There's so many messages. Bacon said he has not read this one. He needs to because it sounds awesome. Chain Forever says it was a very good match. Nice to see the arena from GTS. Unique banner. Really enjoy it. Shame King Cobra had to die, but nice to see Shadow King Kong get a win. Still haven't forgotten how King Kong month went for the poor ape. Nice to see the electricity not used as a giant power-up, and hope Kong gets free.
One day, never.
Anything from the YouTube chat, Coach Rex?
Yes, a couple things from the YouTube chat. Maguma says, I will always love matchups where a match can finally get into the wrestling ring. Not to mention, this was based on actual episode Godzilla series, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Reptile 6497 says this battle is sponsored by Bai. That's how we got Kong and King Cobra here.
Nice. It's true.
Gojira at 41MK11 says, I'm mad as hell. I put all my money on King Cobra. I want my money.
Oh, that's your fault then.
I want my money back. That Spiel guy rigged the whole match.
No refunds.
I'm in financial ruin. I'll lose my Geigen plushie if I don't get that money back. He's all I have left.
I'm ruined. All I have left is Spider-Man.
Speaking of wrestling, because it's 316 day, we got a special guest. Oh hell yeah, son! Oh, Stone Cold's gonna be special guest refereeing King Cobra versus King Kong.
But yeah, no, like it's all significant stuff and concerns to the actual match. So others, it's just roasting. It's like, imagine Rudy on King Cobra. That snake never had a chance. Better get your money back from that large and totally friendly, with no evil intended corporation, or else you won't be able to buy those Ultra Monster figures. This is roasting.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I love my official Spiel Corp drink container to hold my beer.
I love the Spiel Corp water bottle I have, even though I could get water from just about anywhere. It's nice to get it from Spiel.
When you're going on too long, it's Spiel.
Did we want to circle back around to like a little bit?
Yeah, I was getting ready to do that. Like, just okay, great shot. What were your thoughts, real quickly? Don't
Yeah, totally.
Long. On 394, 395, and 396.
394, awesome banner. The match itself was good. I don't remember too much of it, I'm being quite honest, but the banner was fantastic. It was probably my favorite next to like Space Gods Over Destroya. Love the colors, the awesome new artist from Thomas Johnson. 395. This one was the sequel match. Remember very, very positive things on this one. 396. This one, the banner I thought was. I think this is like a misfire from Nagoda in regards to the banner, at least for Dagora. But I didn't think. I thought the match itself was good in regards to Orochi. I think the writer had mentioned that some things had been brought up in regards to like some ideas, and he's like, oh man, I should have had like a meteor storm and stuff come in here. So I feel like I think he's working on a sequel, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like, very excited to see what he does with that. I know Orochi is dead, but like I'm sure a piece of him can survive, and we just got all those new forms of his. Maybe Spirit Orochi comes down, and that's all I got to say.
All right.
Okay. With the Harley.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on match 395 and match 396?
395, 396.
Mhm.
I like 396. I always like matches with Dagora in them. I always thought that was good, and admittedly, I didn't read 395. Sorry.
Okay. All right. With that out of the way, we may move on to match 398.
Ba-doom.
Anguirus Showa, Godzilla Jr., Gaira Showa, Sanda, and Utsuno Ikusagami versus Desghidorah. Written by... Hold on, I want to get the exact order right. Vincent Roger and Alex Williams. Banner by Dao Zhang Moa.
What are those two weenies?
We know those weenies.
Yes.
I know.
Okay, before we begin, I want to reveal a bit of behind-the-scenes stuff here.
All right.
Because this match should have been posted before it was.
Yes.
That was a mistake on my part and Kaiju part. So, Utsuno Ikusagami is a character that requires specific circumstances to be able to appear at all. Unless you just have him show up and you need to like specify stuff.
Right.
Hey, I think you mean Utsuno Ikasagan.
Oh gosh.
Sagami.
Yeah, that was an issue for a good bit with the banner, but yes.
It's still there. I see it right there.
Still there. Actually, it's still there. You never fixed it.
It's fixed on the site.
It's fixed on the site, yeah. Ikusa.
Okay, it is. It just I didn't realize I told Nagata to point it out. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, and yeah, just the issue is basically that like originally when this is something I need to deal with is like I tend to edit matches like very shortly before they go up, like a day or two before.
Bruh.
So Bacon had told me and Kaiju X for a while about how like his intentions for his series with Utsuno and stuff like that, and we had made an assumption regarding I forget her name exactly, the girl from Weathering with You.
Hina.
We made assumptions like regarding Hina and another character he mentioned would be Utsuno, like later on in his series, and assumed that they would be Utsuno together.
Yes.
That was not the case, and so this match needed to be like edited, notably because like we had not communicated with them properly that like you need someone with the essence of Amaterasu alongside the person who is becoming Utsuno. That is one of the three lights, and that was not present in the initial match. So that led to some issues just because it was like match had to be set back, editing had to be done, and things just had to be clarified. Yeah, big mistake on me and Kaijex's part, just like miscommunication issues, all that. But no, on the match itself, I really enjoyed this one. I think it is a great story. in how it balances like both human drama and kaiju drama. Like the kaiju are characterized as are the humans. Weathering with You is a movie that I see a lot of people be like, oh, this is one of the best movies ever. I don't quite think so, but it's a very beautiful movie, and I think this match captures the characters very well.
Yes.
Even as it throws a massive curveball in their dynamic with making one of them the host for Utsuno. I also love how Showa Godzilla here is Manila grown up and how he interacts with Godzilla Jr. The Sandan Gaira pretty much being like Manila's helpers is great fun.
Don't forget
how they've all wound up in.
I was about to say, don't forget the fact that they're decked in monster armor.
I was about to say, yeah. No, I remember that was the thing that's been talked about for a while. Once we got Monster Hunter stuff in the KWC, like decking out the more humanoid monsters in monster armor.
Hell yeah. It's fantastic.
Props to Nagoda for managing to make that look good.
It still looks kind of bad.
Yeah. It looks better on Santa. Yeah. Gaira is a bit like, it's bright, you can tell. But no, yeah. I also love the way Desghidorah is depicted here. The opening preview to set up Desghidorah, very fun. Love the sheer sense of menace given to Desghidorah. I remember getting on Bacon's case a bit when I was editing this because I was like, you keep intermittently referring to him as he and it and they.
What? He has 3 heads. Each head can identify with its own pronouns.
Any of those 3 are fine to use. It's just like I would prefer you stick to one consistently.
I'm gonna use every single pronoun I can muster next time I write Desghidorah, just to spite you. Then
no, God, no.
It will not even be consistent in the same sentence.
I'll just reject the match. But yeah, no. Utsuno, Hina becoming Utsuno handled very well. Enjoy very much how it's handled. Like Utsuno, it's not just instant expert, know everything. So like, even though Utsuno probably would have been able to just demolish Desghidorah, even like within the context of the story itself, like it's not, that doesn't happen because Utsuno's being piloted by someone with no experience in fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hina's not even like someone who fights. She is a complete pacifist.
Right.
But the gods are dicks, so it's just like, you are now our avatar of justice. Deal with it.
You.
Good luck.
Training manual is in the right shoulder. Good luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Always appreciate Bacon's matches and the overall storyline he's building up. Very excited to see where this all goes. I do know because he tells me like where his story's going. Like I'm like the first person his ideas go to.
Pretty much.
But no, very excited to see where this all goes. Thought Bacon and Alex wrote this very well. Good job. And the banner is excellent. Yeah. All that out of the way. I will go ahead and pass this off to Kaiju X. What were your thoughts?
Me anyway. But yeah, no, like like I said, the emotion, like I think the human characters are definitely a nice driving element. I imagine, like, obviously I'm sure Bacon had a say in it too, but I imagine a good portion of that was probably Alex. And I think but still their efforts combined did a really solid job at, like, I was surprised. I was like, that, like, you take the Weathering View like characters and those elements and then, kind of curveball it with the deity element, but it feels weirdly natural as like like it feels like, like not necessarily a sequel, but like a subsidiary to like those events. It feels surprisingly natural and feels within the spirit of those particular characters. That feels like very kind of on point, and that I really, really enjoyed with the human cast in this. And the monster cast too are also, like, in many respects equally enjoyable. When I saw the list, like basically the match name list, it was like, how the heck is like Ikusagami should solo? Let's see what happens. But as as you very clearly point out, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's because the host isn't a fighter, and now she is donning the responsibility as punishment for her, like, time with the Sunshine Girl. It's like, bruh, gods are dicks. That's just the end of it all.
I mean,
Before
that's how it is in all religions, Kaiju X.
you're not, you know what? I'd say it's pretty accurate. Before you'd, yeah, no, just the, like, the sense of, like, yeah, in Descador, I think is written very solidly as sort of like this, like, kind of like weird one-off, like, I'd imagine probably a one-off antagonist in this case, but he's still used, like, effectively well.
He's dead.
Oh, yeah.
He's dead.
He's dead. But yeah, but yeah, no, it's like fun, sort of like, yeah, no, it's just a really, really enjoyable match with a nice, solid, like, emotional core to it. Even after sort of like coming to the compromise, I am content with said compromise that we see here, because it is just sort of like, okay, this makes sense. I don't mind what's present here, so makes sense. With all that said, though, banner-wise, I think the banners, like, good to mixed. Like, Godzilla looks great. Descador looks fantastic. I think Junior and Anguirus are fine. Kusagami has a nice look. Sanda looks fine. It's just Gaira. He's the one element that brings it down just a bit, because that could have used a little bit more, like, polishing and refining. It's like polishing and refining.
What's Sanda's armor supposed to? What's Sanda's armor?
I think Rathalos.
Oh, I don't. I was gonna say, is that the Rathalos armor? Looks like ew.
Yeah, and I think Gaira has Diablos, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's Diablo's armor. That's pretty obvious.
Okay. But yeah,
Are you sure that's the Rathalos armor? I do not remember it looking that bad.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's supposed to be. Oh yeah, it's Dor Morhad. No, that's. I think that's Duran Moran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Duran Moran.
Duran Moran.
Oh, okay, that makes a little more sense then.
Okay, but yeah, for you to, Gaira. Yeah, the armor could have been.
Oh yeah. Oh, this does look a bit chunkier. You're right. That is correct. It's. Yes. I think my problem is, I don't think it quite works. I say this because it's literally just the shoulder pieces. I granted we do need to actually see the monster, but considering the Duran Moran armor is basically a suit of samurai armor, it just looks weird when it's not, the whole piece isn't there.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Harley, you play Monster, and you know how hard it is to get a full set of armor.
Sanda couldn't get the rare drop.
Do you think Gaira has the patience to grind for that much time?
Yeah,
he does.
No, Sanda has to pick up after him.
And clearly they have the skills to like do blacksmith metal and stuff for their armors as well.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, very good. Yeah, no, otherwise it's still like a solid banner all around. Just the
Megan says Gaira was given the armor because Santa wanted him to shut the hell up.
That's funny. That you know what? I could see that. It's just like, here, have big pointy thing. Shut up.
Thanks, big brother.
But yeah, for you to, yeah, no. But again, the actual match itself though is like very solid, very on point. I really do kind of have a feel for the characters here, and I'm very curious to see like what kind of story thread goes from here concerning like this ragtag group. Yeah, very much looking forward to like what's to come in future sequels. So,
Harley, have you read this one?
Yeah, I did read it. Although I will say, y'all have pretty much said everything I wanted to say. I don't think I can add anything new that you haven't said already. It's great. The character work is great. The emotional core is great. Everything about it's great, except for Sanda's goofy looking ass. That's all I got.
Yeah, Magoda, have you read this one?
No, I haven't read the long matches yet. I haven't had time.
Great shot. You read this one.
I'm in the boat of Nagoda. I have not had time. I've still yet to read like 400 either. So
Okay.
yeah, but at least for the banner, yeah, it's a good banner. I think my favorite effect is honestly Nguira's digging out of the side of the hill like that. I'm always a fan of a good dust effects, and
Yes.
that is solid. The armor on Gara is a bit weaker, but no, everything else is like pretty much on point when it comes to the shadows, the lighting, all that jazz. So good work, Nagoda. Next time, just grind a little bit more in your Monster Hunter game to get the armor for these guys, okay?
Rare drops are rare for a reason. Everyone else will get it, but not you.
I love how Santa has like an elder dragon armor, like one of the most powerful creatures, and Gyra has a fucking like cactus eating vegetable thing.
All right. Bacon says, all right, so for 398, Final Wars Godzilla. Back when we were voting for a new Godzilla, Final Wars Godzilla was tied with Showa Godzilla. Manila as an adult was always going to be part of this match, but originally I thought of Final Wars Godzilla for the role. L to the boy, however, the next part would not have happened without Showa Godzilla. So let's throw a loop in plans for later because of Showa Godzilla being on the roster, but that was planned out properly now. Reference. Okay, I didn't do this on purpose and didn't realize it until I had finished the scene, but Manila grabbing Utsuno's sword is a He-Man reference to specifically his transformation, and I have the power.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that was probably my favorite part of this match, was just like
Gosh,
Godzilla grabbing Utsuno's sword.
Yeah, I know. Why did that slip my mind? That was the best friggin' part.
Listen, when you have a whole bunch of Kino moments, the best Kino moment's hard to determine.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Gear. Sanda and Gyra having armor was inspired by Frankenstein's Baragon knife and Showa Godzilla's debut. I felt it appropriate, plus armor made from Monster Hunter reps is rad. Weathering with you. I want to do something unique with Utsuno because I find the film's host to be boring as sin, just like the movie. First off, you're wrong, but secondly, you're right. Yeah, Yamato Takeru himself is not exactly a fleshed out character.
No, not at all. He's literally a puppet. He was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, you're the champion of the gods now because we decreed it. Oh look, you're the champion of the gods now.
Yeah, I figured that Sheena from Weathering with You would be perfect. So that was from the pushing point. That was also the pushing point for Alex to join the writing front, which was epic. Desgor's origin. I took that from a guidebook. It's super interesting and figured it needed to be shown. Yes, that is where Desghidorah being like a lava amoeba that coalesces into a Ghidorah is from.
Yes.
The Super Complete Works for Rebirth of Mothra.
Yes.
Only good thing out of those super complete works.
Yes.
For real.
That Super Complete Works also has it saying that like Desghidorah might have morphed into like a lava Leo if the fight had dragged on too long, but we are ignoring that super hard.
That's a little too far out there. As cool as it sounds, it's like too far
And
out.
he says pronouns, I've come to make an announcement. Fuck you, GVR. In all seriousness, I did. They turned or he attacked because that is natural. Yeah. No worries. Just like I am a very nitpicky person. I am generally very positive on the things I consume, but like I will nitpick them to hell. Yeah. Kaiju Fan Forever says, this was a great match. All the characters were written well. Utsuno's transformation gave me vibes of Aang entering the Avatar state. I enjoyed the fact that Sanda and Gyro were wearing monster Hunter armor, and I like how Desghidorah just broke down before he died. Utsuno being portrayed the way they were, justifies the reasons for the other helping out. Otherwise, it would just be Utsuno ragdolling Des all around Tokyo before blasting him to Kingdom Come while the others ate popcorn, or humans in the case of Gyra and cheered.
Yeah.
The idea of Ghidorah taking another of his kind under his wing literally was brilliant, as was the story the Elder told. I really liked the part where Godzilla used his old man's magnet powers to grab Utsuno's sword, as well as chunk debris at Des like a Jedi. Yes, I also love how Showa Godzilla's magnetism power was used. We agreed that like it was fine for him to basically like not full on like Magneto control stuff through the air, but like him reversing polarity to just like shoot metal at stuff is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaiju X, YouTube chat.
Right. Yeah, no, not too much. Maguma says Sanda and Gyra in battle armor? Awesome. Okay, in all seriousness, this is a really fun fight. A pretty unique batch in monsters as a whole, and also continues the ongoing story in a fun way, is what Maguma says. And then King Little Caesar just says, amazing. I don't know in response to what, but I assume it's the match. But yeah, no, that was it from the YouTube comment side of things. So
Yeah, with that, I think everything is covered. We may move on to match 399. Godzilla Heisei vs. Bagan, round 2, by Harley Jameson, banner by Andrew Sudomarsky.
Who's that weenie that wrote it? What a loser.
Branching off from match 190, not continuing off of it. A very important distinction.
That's something. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, well, branching off.
Yeah, there was initially some confusion because it was just like originally it said continuing off from match 190, and that led to some people being like, "This match is bad," because it like. But no, this
It's not actually a sequel.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like an AU, which is definitely a KWC first, and now kind of think on it, it's like we definitely had a lot of time to like go over it, but we didn't, and it was like, bruh.
I had said you should probably do something about it, and y'all.
Yeah, I thought we agreed. Like we should not just use continued from, but clearly I was wrong. Clearly, the second in command of the KWC doesn't get to say anything.
Bruh. Well, no one had any ideas at the time, though.
I thought I had ideas. I don't know. I forget all.
I thought I had ideas. That is.
I gaslit myself to had ideas.
No, Kaiju, you see, in my head, I was correct.
Every human being ever.
In the narrative I have constructed, I was right. Well, I don't actually remember what I thought. I think I remember this coming up, but I don't think I had any like actual suggestions.
Right.
Yeah, I think it maybe in this case, if there are like for future situations, what might be best is this might sound weird, but like a change and then maybe like an author's or like a editor's or just a note right at the start of the match saying, "Hey, this is a new thing. This is what it's going to be doing. We're glad you can understand. If you notice this going forward, this is what it means. Thank you and have a wonderful day." But then match.
Yeah,
definitely something to consider because like even just branching off from like it can still be confusing because it's like, well, where's it branching off from?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally included the bit from 190 where I was branching off from, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Harley, you can't expect someone to go back and read.
I was gonna say I quite literally have the branching out point in the match,
right?
Just to be safe.
So you're saying you plagiarized it?
Yes, I plagiarized myself. You're welcome.
We're gonna have to ban you.
Oh damn!
But no, okay. All that aside, the idea of a AU match really cool. Hoping we get some more of those in the future. And for the match itself, this is a really fun match. Always love Burning Godzilla in matches, especially this one, which is very much dives deeper into the meltdown state, something which isn't really used too often. Yeah. I love how it is essentially the Super Godzilla transformation gone horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I always go into these thinking like I'm going to say a million things and just like go over every single aspect of the match, and then it leaks out of my head like water.
Yep, that's pretty much me on a regular basis. So
yeah, characters are fun. It's the same stuff from 190. Very good. Bacon is written very well as well as the Godzilla. Banner is excellent. I especially love the second one.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Hell yeah.
With that out of the okay, Kaiju, your turn.
All right, my turn. I did have a little bit. Harley primarily was the writer of this match. I was like, oh, hey, great. She pretty much wrote the bulk of it. I did because we knew we were adding new abilities to Bagan derived from the Gojibang appearance. I was like, oh, I did, with Harley's consent, of course, like, I did do a little bit of, just a little bit of pumping up here and there when it came to sort of, like, the horn laser used at the end and whatnot. I didn't, like, go overboard. It was just sort of like, I think it'd be it was just also a fun way to demonstrate, like, the upgrade had additional perks along with, like, the powers that he already had. So it was just like, that felt like a good enough opportunity to introduce it. And yeah, no, but still, the match all around, however, is still a great, like, yeah, an AU is definitely a first for the KWC. At least in the way this is framed, an AU is kind of a first. In a lot of, like, sure, you could argue that like, every other thing sort of like branching off are still AUs in their own rights, but I think this is the first. This is probably the first one where it's sort of like, oh yeah, somewhere in the middle of the match, something goes different. doesn't quite follow the same end path as the original or something like that. But it's still kind of like a really fun.
Real quick, sorry, just like interrupting real quick. Bacon said, "Damn it, I forgot to mention I picked that armor sets for Sand and Gyro were because they were in the movie."
Okay, yeah.
All right, continue on. Sorry, just interrupting real quick.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, pretty good. Yeah, no, and I'm just really like all around content to kind of emulate the original like sort of like the original 190 banner, where except this time it's just 2 instead of 3. But hey, there's no need to go excessive. And I do kind of like the distinguishing mark of like, oh yeah, we're transitioning from the movie studio tour baggage to the video game baggage. So that was kind of a fun, visual thing to indicate that Baggin also got juiced up. This particular case and becomes the, incidentally becomes the savior of the world in the sense before Godzilla goes critical. So yeah, no, and I do love. What I really adore about this like match in particular is just like Godzilla's melting state. He almost like it's almost kind of unreal just how like he feels more like liquid than solid, weirdly enough. And it is sort of like weirdly distraught and disturbing. So when spoilers, but when Baggin finally puts him out, it was just like weirdly relieving. I was just like, oh yeah, friggin' Godzilla's dead, and thankfully not at the cost of the world. But that dude was definitely suffering from the negative backlash of this universe's like equivalent. I also like the bits with Alien Miko, where it was just sort of alluding to like another contemporary like of himself and whatnot. So it's like always kind of like fun, weird time shenaniganeries going on with that one. And even his exit too was like great. That's good. That's good.
This is your problem now. Bye.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, love that. So, and sort of like, yeah, keeps it rather vague of like, what is the future for this universe? Who knows, you know? So, who knows? Friggin', yeah, no, all around just, I still really enjoyed the match, and obviously as the co-writer to its progenitor 190, it meets my personal approval. That was like, hell yeah. So, yeah, no, always great, and, you know, fun to.
Yeah, if you weren't on board with this, I wouldn't have wrote it.
Yeah. But of course, naturally, I am on board with it because of course I am. But yeah, very good. Yeah.
You want to mention the scene you made me cut and then put back in?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. It's just a little bit of behind the scenes trivia where it's like originally. There's a little bit in the part where Taniguchi pulls a gun on Professor Ogata, and originally I wasn't like too huge on that because I felt like I don't know where my brain was.
You said it was somehow out of character.
It was somehow out of character because that wasn't how I envisioned their relationship being. But then I came back to it later. I was like, wait, Taniguchi's a soldier. Of course he would have a gun. And of course, you know, like these elements made sense, like in the like ensuing like what month before this went up. I think I was like, oh yeah, Harley, put this back in, please. I'm an idiot.
I was like, what? All right, sure. You were worried that I would somehow not be able to fit it in, and I was like, dude, this was the original
match was done.
I can put it back in.
The match was done. If you're talking about Kaiju, you need to clear out your head.
It was literally finished, by the way. It was done. It was done completely. I hadn't touched it in months because it was done by that point completely. And Kaiju X asked me if I could basically go back and fix something that wasn't broken.
Right.
So I did. I did exactly that.
Right, and it worked so much better for it. So I'm glad I had the right of mind to re-include it. Right. So. Yeah, no, I'm pretty whack behind the scenes.
Grandpa Kaiju X. We gotta take care of him. He doesn't take his meds.
Where's the chair I'm supposed to be sitting in?
I assume you're gonna want to wait till like everyone else is gone first.
Let's save the actual author notes for the end. So let's skip over me for now.
All right, Nagoda, did you read this one?
Wait, I want to go over the banners.
Okay, yes, do that.
I like the banners. I had a lot of fun making them. The only weird offset was just like for the second banner, I wanted to try to change the horn, but I don't know how, I kind of lost it. I was like, where'd that second banner go? Because I think the second banner was just simply like, because the image of the first banner and the second banner used the same image. I just composited them differently or whatever. So I don't know what happened to it, and I couldn't make that change in time, and I kind of regretted that. And I was like, bruh. But obviously, what can you do? Redo the whole thing. I did consider using that Super 7 partially melted Godzilla figure when it came out, but I was like, when I figured I couldn't edit the second banner for reasons, it was just like, oh, okay, I'll just leave it alone. It still looks fine, so it's like, still looks fine looking at it now, so I'm like, all right, glad I didn't, I suppose. But friggin', yeah, no, that's kind of it with the two banners for this one in particular. So,
All right. Dakota, did you read this one?
Yes, I read this one. It's a nice like alternate ending to like the other one. I like how like the G energy didn't turn him into super, instead just went straight to meltdown, which was nice because like meltdown Godzilla is like, oh no, now we're all screwed, even if we win. And then I also like how their only choice to win was to go use G energy again on the other guy. So yeah, it's a nice fun ultimate match. As for the banners, they look nice. I like how like Running Godzilla has like the explosions going off of him, and then the second one has the wings of light and like energy claws, swirly things on Baggin. Also, the title disappears on the second banner.
mm-hmm. Well, it's meant to echo the original 190, where the title just kind of disappears from the Super Godzilla Baggin battle. So
Dang. Godzilla was so hot and meltdown, the title melted into him.
Heisei Godzilla at fourth wall breaking added to his profile at reversal.
That's exactly what happened. Oh my goodness.
Anyone else have anything to say?
Yeah, great shot. Did you read this one?
Hey, yes, I did. It was going off memory because it had been a long time since I read 190. I did not read the remastered version, so I was going off pure memory. So when I first read this, I was like, what? But now with all the clarification, I'm like, ah. But yes, good match, good ending. It's kind of weird that Big N is on this track record of being the good guy in matches.
It was more by circumstance than by choice, though, in this case.
Yeah, not wrong, but it's still it's weird because like Big Ed was like, oh, he's the ultimate bat, like 190. I remember that being like, oh yeah, it's like like Pinnacle. It's like, oh no, he's the good guy this time. Mothra's even saying hello, so it's like it's just funny context changes all things, but as for the banner itself, I think I like the first over the second. Both banners are great, but I think I like the wings of light are awesome. I just like the burning and smoke effect coming off burning in that first image. Classic. Yeah, but otherwise, very good. And yeah, glad, and it has now set a standard for the AU. So exciting to see what comes from that.
Yes. Yeah. Bacon and Kaiju Fan Forever both unfortunately did not read this match.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Kaiju, anything from the YouTube chat before we move on to Harley?
Just one, which is Maguma saying, I definitely like the melting effect with Godzilla on the banner. And that's kind of it, really. So.
Right. Harley, you may
first
now
of all, thank you for all your kind words. I'm very proud of this. It's something I've been looking forward to for a while. I'm very, very pleased with how I got across just how like with kind of like, again, I think Grayshot put it best, how like a single event twist on its head, all of a sudden we have a completely different story. It goes from like a more traditional like anime-esque, like, we're the good guys, this more apocalyptic horror of, oh Jesus, we're in trouble now. And I really hope I got across just how much another level Meltdown Godzilla is, even compared to something like Baggin at like his peak power. And like I just hope that I got across like yeah, set the precedent for like AUs and like alternate like scenarios where it's like this one change and all of a sudden we've just spiraled into something this is a little darker, a little more serious. I did, and I also hope I got across just like how serious the situation is now. Like it's like abandoned Japan, Godzilla's melting down, like all like everything's going up. It's absolute chaos, basically.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
I mean, yeah, kind of, because I kind of like the idea, because to me, it's kind of a natural branching off point, because there was always this tease, there was always a slight tease of, well, what if it doesn't work? Because even in the original match, they have this moment where they ask themselves, what if it doesn't work? Mm-hmm. So to me, it was, well, what if it? To me, obviously, the implication that just nothing happens. But to me, it's like, well, what if the nothing what if the doesn't work means instead of going super, he goes meltdown?
Right. What if there was like a precedent for things going wrong?
Because I mean, to me, it's a natural alternative to super. Is, well, if he can't absorb, like, if he doesn't go super, he goes meltdown instead. And I think I personally think I did a good job of tying doing spinning that narrative basically with a different thread. And that's all I got for my rambling, because GBR muted himself, and I'm alone and scared.
I'm here.
I'm alone and scared.
Thank you.
But yeah. Yeah, no. Oof. Yeah, no, this has been a nice, well, GBR is now the host, and yeah, for whatever reason. Okay.
It's since GBR fucking muted himself, we may now move on to 400.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. With nothing else of note, we're gonna move on to match 400, which will be the last KWC to cover, at least for now.
For now,
the rest, the rest of the stuff going on for the event month going on is just going to be saved for another KVCC, whenever that will be.
Never. This is the last one.
Oh, this is the last one? Okay, let's go out with the bang. Woo! Okay.
Whoa!
So I will now take over as the host. And with match 400, Space Godzilla and Destroya versus Trilopod. Written by Matthew Freese and Banner. It looks like I'm freaking looks like freaking I'm like 20 for 1 or something with banners. What the heck? I think okay, not all.
Can you speak a complete sentence?
No.
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 Oh,
freaking
really quick before we move on, we were reading out all the summaries for everything, right?
Oh no, it was just for that one.
Oh, well, fuck me then. Because I actually wrote the summary for $3.99 myself.
Yes. No, it's a very nice summary. And again, just check out share it on Twitter or something, and then look at the description after. And it's like, oh look, there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, match 400. This thing is a friggin' beast. I'll let GBR go into greater detail with how it came to be and what it ultimately evolved into. It did go through some changes compared to what it initially was, and even I think there were some parts that you asked for that ultimately weren't used, but
yeah, I'll go into it.
right. So yeah, again, I'm gonna leave that to GBR to kind of go into this. This is literally his baby. But friggin' A, this is a big. This definitely both, like, from the title, you wouldn't think much of it, but the scale of it feels like an appropriately scaled 100 match. Sort of like what we had for Everyone versus Everyone, the Gray Shot match, Nagota's Gamma versus Everyone. So this kind of follows that follows the trail in terms of being a big spectacle event, while still maintaining a kind of a central cast that people can follow. It's like, okay, you got Space Godzilla, you got Destroyer, you got the Trilopods, which again have the additional perk of like Trilopods can take on many forms and therefore have many abilities, but they are all still unified as the Trilopods. So taking the advantage of that brilliant beauty of like that concept, we got this, we basically got this massive monstrosity for a match. While the first part set in Beijing feels like not as polished compared to some of GBR's like previous outings, it does kind of kick it up a notch once we hit Tokyo, and then kind of like all the insanity that kind of spirals from there. But I will say that was just like I would probably say around the time that probably around the point where it's like Space Godzilla and Destroyer properly joined forces is probably where it's like it kind of gets exciting, because like their motivations kind of line up, and then sort of like the central idea of like, I guess sort of like a frenemies thing is also just a in a weird way, it's about time it happened. I think we've always had like Space Godzilla Destroyer like sort of related like they've interacted plenty of times before, but I don't think it's ever been quite like in this case. I don't think. I could be wrong on that, but I'm almost...
I had to write Space Godzilla versus Destroyer, and I had to write them being allies.
Yeah.
Now you have to write them being lovers.
Depending on how you interpret this match. No,
I have some limit. It's okay.
I was gonna say, is that not what this is? Yeah, jokes aside, though, bring it in. This was a beast to like go through in terms of reading it, but hot dang, it definitely like shifts up the fight enough. I feel like the Tokyo part, like I said, is arguably the better part in terms of GBR's writing quality, but I think it may go on just for a little. I don't know where he could have like cut it down to be shorter, but it does feel a bit on the longer side. That said, once we get to the I'm gonna show off the second banner real quick, but once we get to the big boss of the Trilopods, it's like, oh snap. So that was definitely a fantastic frigging like implementation for the match. That friggin' spoilers, that Super Godzilla Trilopod is beast.
Yeah, I don't mind spoilers. I'm gonna go into spoilers once I get to myself.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, friggin' that Super Godzilla Trilopod is, oh my gosh, what a friggin' yes. All my yeses. Yoy. And yeah, no, that was just a blast to read once. It felt like, yeah, the super, like, yeah, even like, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of really fun dynamic like fighting going on with the Tokyo battle, but I think it does drag on a little much. That said, the Super Godzilla portion kind of like reinvigorates like kind of a new energy into the match. And then yeah, it is sort of like an appropriate enough end boss, all things considered. And yeah, no, just really enjoyed the match, and I think this is definitely a nice 100 match to kind of end the 300s on. So it does not feel like that long ago that we had match 300.
It doesn't.
It's crazy to think that, because yeah, 300 was like what, 2020? Yeah, because Camera Month was 2020.
So it was 2.5 years ago almost. Well, like 2.75
or something like that. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That was just like, oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's just kind of crazy. It's been that long. It feels not that long, but yet too long. I don't know how. How?
You're old. That's why. You have dementia.
You know what? I could believe that. But friggin', yeah, no, really enjoyed it. And then yeah, as the banner maker for this one, well, first technically credits where credits due. Nagoda does an amazing job with like trilopod hybrids, kills it.
Yes.
Really knocks it out of the park with all of them. Especially, I think the Space Godzilla one, the Destroyer ones were completely new. Like he had pre-made like the King Ghidorah one.
I modified the King Ghidorah one to match up with the new artwork that was made of it.
Yeah. I know Strip Matters made the Biolante, so like I know that one's the Strip Matter one from 388. And then yeah, no, it was just like yeah, no, it was just kind of crazy being able to use all of them. And then yeah, like the Mothra one was like semi-recent because I think that was in lieu of requested for this match. And then yeah, same with the Space Godzilla Trilopod. Destroy a Trilopod. I personally adore the Space Godzilla Trilopod. That thing looks so on point compared to the comic one. So on point. It was like I had to double take that. It was like, whoa, what?
Hey,
Yeah.
it had a lot of good reference images to go off of for that one.
Well, yeah.
Try looking at all the other trilopod hybrids. They're hidden behind other trilopod hybrids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Space Godzilla Trilopod, like the one that gets like a major focus and a major fight.
Yeah.
That one and the Mega Garrus one.
Right.
Well, what about the trilopod hybrid? Huh?
Bruh.
What would happen if a beta Trilopod, like an alpha Trilopod, bit another Trilopod and tried to merge?
Would it just get bigger? I don't know.
That's how Megiddo was born.
It would just be sad. It would look like something like, oh, it's like an Eevee that never gets to evolve.
Nothing happened.
I'm just
And
bad
other
now.
one too.
I do hate to interrupt or to not take my turn, but I do have to go. I've not read this one yet, but I just want to say, yeah, fantastic banner, Kaiju X.
Banners.
All right.
Yeah.
Banners,
No,
yes.
no worries, man. Everyone's busy today.
Yeah, I totally blanked on it occurring at this time, so might be, but yeah, no, fantastic banner, man. And to go to 10 out of 10 work on the fusions, like you always do a fantastic job in that front.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like no small feat. The hybrid fusions of all your trilopods are just amazing. But I gotta go. Later, guys.
All right, see you,
All right,
great shot.
you.
I'll leave my comments in the video.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, I remember I initially went to Nagoto to make this banner because, like, I know he does the Trilopod hybrids, but it ended up going to Kaiju X just because, like,
Yeah, 'cause I didn't
Nagoto
have
is very
time.
busy. Yeah, Nagoto is a very busy man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it was no. I think you came to me first. I said I can't guarantee anything. Then you went to like Nagoda and Ditto, I think. And then I eventually kind of picked up. Once I found a solid concept to take the banner, it was like okay, like because you had like 3 requested banners. I was like, oh, I'm always down for a challenge, but still, it was like
Because I'll go into it when I start talking about the match. But like originally, this was in my original plans. This was even longer.
yeah. I think
But fortunately, I understood that sometimes you just need to cut things when they're not necessary.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, pretty good. What's it called? Pretty good. Yeah, no,
Kaiju X- yeah. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that. I was like, yeah, in regards to the banner creation process, like once I had a concept going, it was like, because I was just trying to figure out like how to composite it, how to layer it, and I was working on like a prototype. I actually want to like, I'll probably show off the prototype when I'm like when someone else is talking, but like I did have a prototype, but I wasn't too happy with how it was. I guess it would have been all right, but it didn't feel like there wasn't enough of like a pizzazz. And it was like, how could I make this stand out from the others? Then it kind of clicked with me. It was like, oh, what if I had Destroya and Space Godzilla front and center, surrounded by the trilopods for the respective parts of the story, and then sort of like keep the same position for Space Godzilla and Destroya while changing around all trilopods. That was when sort of like the banners kind of became like one. And then for the Super Godzilla, the Super Godzilla Trilopod was actually stupid easy. All I basically did was just kind of like, it's not even as elaborate. Like if I were to take away the effects, it's nowhere nearly as complex as Nagota's creations. It's just I took the Digi-Whip model Super Godzilla and just slapped it on one of the turnarounds for the Trilopod.
Yeah, I can tell just like looking in closer. Like, yeah, it's a much simpler thing, but it works.
It works, considering that you're not seeing all the finer details. I knew I didn't have to over-design it to match those finer details. I just had to get the core details.
Yes.
Took a minute, but nailed it to something I was personally content with. And then, was able to weave it in there amidst all the other monsters, which was that was a crazy balancing act in of itself. I'm at least content enough to what is, making it easier for myself without, overloading, but also making the presentation more distinct. Because I don't think we ever had a GIF banner where it's sort of I think it's always been much more like two different banners most of the time. I don't think we ever had a case where it's sort of here are the central characters and they're kind of consistent while everything else around them changes. So I thought that'd be fun. That said, the color temperature, I'm going to rotate between the first and second banner real quick. I figured, kind of a fun detail that you may maybe missed on is that the color temperature of Space Godzilla and Destroya do change based on the image. So that way there's still a general consistency between them when transitioning from one banner to the other. So hey, it's that just kind of helped make them feel natural without without derailing from the basically the gimmick of the banner, which is sort of them in the middle and then everything else changes. So that's pretty much it on that front. I'm gonna try and get the prototype banner because I do think I still have that somewhere in here. So
Harley, what were your thoughts?
I'm not finished with it yet, actually, but I'm really enjoying what I'm reading so far. I don't care about spoilers, so
Okay.
but I am very much enjoying what I'm reading so far. The opening's kind of weak, but it's still good, and it's getting better and better and better. So that's all I got.
Nagota?
I haven't read the matches fully yet. I read most of the beginning part, and that was pretty good so far. As for the banner itself, it looks nice. It's a bit crowded, but that kind of makes sense because there's a lot of monsters. But with how they're positioned, it looks nice.
Bacon says match 400 is the best 100 match, which is a complete 180 from what I originally thought. I feel the first half until Space Godzilla and Destroy meet has some grammar issues and isn't up to what GVR does now, but that changes completely with the friendship that is bonded in the brutality of it all. Great job, man. That banner is also so fire. I had to call 911 to put it out.
And
I'll
now
agree with
I have
Bacon. This is probably one of the best 100 matches. Better than 300. 300 kind of sucks.
300's good, but it has a lot of issues.
Yeah, it has issues, but it's still fine.
Yeah. Kaiju Fan Forever says, oh, what a monster of a match. Where to begin? I adore how Destroy and Space Godzilla grew to become friends, as well as Space Godzilla taking note of Destroy's abilities. The Trilopods were formidable foes, and their various abilities were used incredibly well. Once it clicked, the Cryogs were planning to create a Super Godzilla hybrid. I gasped in realization. I adore how Destroy killed the Space Godzilla hybrid by taking a page from the Xenomorph life cycle. Same how Space Godzilla killed the Destroy hybrid. Speaking of said hybrid, I really enjoyed how it basically went insane from the pain caused by Destroy's blood. I adore how Destroy's very blood was deadly, and I enjoyed the moment where both tell each other they were scared and laughed when they said, "You wimp out, I'll hunt you down and butcher you," then chuckled as the other told them they were thinking the same thing. Poor Junior, though, Earth really is boned no matter what happens. Also, at work, I thought it would be funny if right after the match ends, Vegeta just eats both in one bite.
Right. That would be kind of funny. But I now have the prototype, the working prototype I was doing for a bit. So it's it was still follow the same idea of they're surrounded by all the other Trilopods, but I couldn't quite get it to work the way I wanted it to. There's the old prototype version that I had for a couple minutes while you guys were talking. So, but yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, I think I prefer what you ultimately went with. It's obviously a bit hard to judge because it's a prototype, but I think what you went with is much more unique.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
As opposed to this, where it would have just been putting a whole bunch of monsters in one banner.
Which would have been just standard fare. It would have had the same kind of unique look compared to the others. So.
Anything from the YouTube chat?
Let's see.
Hey, YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Maguma says, this is definitely worthy of the 400th match. It feels like a simple concept that was expanded to really become something special. So, but yeah, no, surprisingly, not all from the YouTube chat. Surprise, but
How dare they? No, I'm kidding.
You ungrateful.
No, okay. Match 400. So, before I go into anything on my thoughts on the match itself, bit of history. Originally, I wrote this match for Trilopod Takeover,
gosh.
which never came to pass. And that also should give you an idea of how long this one's been sitting. What was it, like 2020?
I think
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Yeah, 2020, I think. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, Trilopod Takeover didn't pan out, but like I still had the match finished, so it just sort of sat there.
Trilopod Takeover, I think, was earlier than 2020, by the way. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
before the
I think it might have been, yeah. Holy crap.
It was before the blog format change happened, so it was before that.
Yeah.
Well, it was planned for that long, but like I think it wasn't until around like 2020 where we decided this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, or
Okay.
something like that.
But yeah, so that was that, and it sat there in the archives for a while. Originally, and then eventually, like Match 400 was coming around, and the decision ended up being made. Let's make it a GVR match. I didn't really like contribute to this decision, but I obviously wasn't going to say no.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, I said we need to make Match 400 one of my matches. No, I was just like in the call, and everyone else was like, "It should be one of your matches, JVR." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And originally, I had a different match in mind. That match was not completed yet, but I was like, I can get it done in time. I did not get it done in time. Not anywhere close. But fortunately, like even like from the very beginning, I was like, in case I can't get this done in time, make it Space Godzilla and Destroyer versus Trilopod.
Yeah, that's the plan B.
Yeah, and like before it went up, I did go through like editing it and like trying to add new stuff because like originally the whole thing with like Carcaro wanting to attack Earth because they killed King Ghidorah, that was not in the match. The stuff at the very beginning with like Space Godzilla and Destroya's births, so to speak, that was not in the match. Originally, the match started with like the snippets where it's them being destroyed by Godzilla. But then like I decided to include their origins and then like move that part later on to be more fitting with the part where it's basically like them realizing they are very similar.
Yeah.
The match originally ended with just like they destroy the hive and they awaken Megiddo. And then Megiddo like golf ball putts Heisei Godzilla across the city. And then it's just like Space Godzilla and Destroyer before they can do anything else, like have to fight Megiddo, and then it's like and it just ends with like the confrontation about to happen.
Yeah.
But I ended up deciding that was like not really super satisfying a conclusion. So I reworked it.
I had to, sorry.
But yeah. So for the history of the match itself, why I wanted to write it, there's sort of twofold reasoning. I wanted to write a match that has Space Godzilla and Destroyer like working together. Because obviously the idea is like, oh, they're fighting each other, or like they're just not attacking each other while they're fighting a bunch of other kaiju. But I wanted to have them like actually being a team.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to write a match with, well, both of them being more like in-depth character-wise than most matches do. Because, you know, most of the time it's just Space Godzilla. He's like a cackling, mustache-twirling, evil genius, and Destroyer is just like kill, kill, kill. Well, I wanted to write something a bit different. This is more in line with how I view these characters, by the way. So any further matches from me, you will see like more of this characterization. Where just like they are both evil. Yeah, they're both evil, but like it's not just mindless one note thing. Like Space Godzilla is tormented by his existence, and Destroya is rejected by the world, so it rejects the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
With all that, the Super Godzilla Trilopod was just because like I felt like Super Godzilla did not have enough matches. And this was kind of a way to work him into more stuff. I remember asking Kaiju like, hey, would this be allowed to have a Heisei Trilopod get turned into Super Godzilla?
Hell yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure Kaiju Rex would have had to literally be dying for him to reject that idea.
Yeah.
No. But yeah. On to the match itself. Well, actually, first let me stall more. No, I love the banner you made, Kaiju X. It is excellent.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you.
Like, I love the framing. I love the two of them back to back. My one complaint. It's a super small complaint. The like lightning coming off of Space Godzilla's shoulder crystal. The way the light like sort of cuts off below the main thing.
Yeah, I think I see. I tried to like trim it out some just to make sure it wasn't as like obvious. I thought I got that, but dang it.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But yeah, I love the steam effects coming off of Destroyer's face, and I love how the Trilopod Destroyer also has it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, with all of that out of the way. The match itself, my opinion on it is I was surprised how warm people were towards it. Really? Because like, even though I did edit it, like I was originally going to do much more editing. Try to like break up the Tokyo fight somewhat by like having it more flashbacks with Karkero and Megiddo to explain all that. But then it's just like, as I was reading the final battle, as I was reading the Tokyo stuff, I realized this is impossible to break apart without completely ruining the flow.
Yeah.
Because it's just one big block of fighting.
Right. Yeah, no, that's why I said it was kind of like, yeah, I did feel like the Tokyo fight was a little long, but at the same time, it's like there was nowhere you could really cut or any recommendations to cut because it was like, yeah, no, that's just the way it's paced. You know, can't be helped. So
yeah. So, furthermore, why am I struggling to think?
There's more?
Yeah, but no, like.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm mostly happy with the match. I just do think that like the fight in Tokyo is just like so dense and goes on for way too long. I wish I could have broken it up more. Because back when I wrote this match, and for a lot of my matches, I have this mindset of like I need to have a quota of hits in a fight.
Yeah.
So it needs to just be like all over the place. Well, it needs to just be like huge focus on a fight. Dragging on, and like I'm against that now. I try to be more like brief with stuff.
Yep, same.
But yeah, Trilopods. Very happy with how I wrote them. Very happy with how I wrote Space Godzilla and Destroya.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I was very happy with like the thing with the Trilopod Destroyer pretty much going insane. Because I thought about that, I was writing this. I was like, so wait a minute. If you're copying Destroya, you're copying a being made out of like trillions of microbes all connected together.
Yeah.
And like I've done that with Orga as well in Orga in Hell, because it's like Destroya is a colony of microbes. You can't just copy that without issue.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a Gestalt entity, as I think is the correct term.
Yeah. Kaiju Van Forever says one more thing. This inspired me to write a Trilopod match. Thought it was going to be a bit because I got to make sure I don't rip this one off. It does currently have a similar premise, though it might change. Yeah, looking forward to it. And yeah, no worries. That's an issue when it's like you're super inspired by something, because then it's like, how do I do this without ripping it off?
Yeah. It's like, bruh.
Just rip it off wholeheartedly.
I will sue you. I have lawyers. But no, anyway. But yeah, I probably would have done the same thing if it was Hedora. Trying to be copied by a trial pod.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Very happy with how I depicted Space Godzilla and Destroyer's characterizations. I was worried about how them becoming friends would turn out. Not because of the typical people who complain about kaiju emotions, I don't care about what they think. But just because I feel like I would just assume that a lot of people would be like, but it's Space Godzilla and Destroyer. They're them.
Right.
They don't. But no, I have seen only people praise that aspect, so I'm very happy with that.
Hell yeah. No, it's definitely one of the better defining parts of it. And again, I think the match kind of gets rolling once they do kind of
they only don't like it if it's Godzilla.
Yeah. But yes. But I'm very happy with how that all turned out. Because a lot of people do just depict them as mindless evil, just they're evil because they're evil. Space Godzilla has a 300 IQ and likes destroying and likes kicking puppies and destroying things because it's funny. I never
understood the whole intelligence part of Space Godzilla. He never really seemed like he was particularly smart to me.
He's supposed to have human level intellect, but you wouldn't know it from the movie.
He was? Oh, okay then.
Right. So, yeah.
And obviously he is supposed to be smarter than most kaiju.
Yeah, that's not a very high bar though.
Yeah. And I do try to make sure he comes across as smart, but I wanted to focus more on just the tortured aspects, because it's he spawned in space out of a black hole with just memories of another monster's life that was also filled with pain.
Yeah.
And Destroy as well. A lot of people just depict Destroy as Destroy is the devil. Destroy kills all life. Destroy hates all things. But no, Destroy is an animal. It's a colony of crustaceans that woke up in a world completely different to their own, have been turned basically anti-life against their will, because just they can't interact with anything without just destroying it. And the world responded by attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
Their first interactions are dissolving fish like they would normally, and then being shot at by people.
Yeah,
that's ultimately kind of the tragedy of Destroy. The world the world it lived in is not the world it currently is not the world we live in. They're just incompatible with one another, unfortunately.
Yeah, I very much wanted to focus on that tragedy, because they both have very similar tragedy to Godzilla, but almost worse, because even Heisei Godzilla was able to find a son. Heisei Godzilla is able to rest and sleep and not be attacked in his slumber.
Mm-hmm.
And with Carcaro, I did decide to flesh him out more. In the original version of the match, he was just he was essentially what everyone writes the Exilian Commander as, just screaming at people you're doing it wrong, get them, deploy this, kill.
Yeah.
Stupid tuna!
Yeah, but I decided to flesh that out a bit more and have that basic aspect, but add more depth with his world was destroyed, he couldn't do anything, and then he got a recording, and then he heard a recording pretty much saying that this backwater planet you've never heard of has killed King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Especially with the way Kakara ultimately kind of holds himself up with pride and ego. Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and finally, what I ended up deciding on. Okay, when I was saying that the match was almost much longer. Originally, in the original idea, and I almost considered bringing this back when I was editing it, but both times I ended up deciding, no, do not do this. There was going to be a second fight between Beijing and Tokyo in Pyongyang. And it was going to have I don't remember the kaiju that I was going to have before. I think both versions had a Megagirus and Monstrous Rodan and Kongs. I was going to throw in a Giarmu Trilopod and Balkrodan in the second version. Because it's a match 400. It's got to be longer than 300 and 200. It's got to be a massive
that's a good
match.
point. We could have trilopods be non-combatant monsters. Now that you mention it,
yeah,
that never really occurred to me, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, I ended up scrapping it both times because it was just like, well, the first time I was just like, I did have it like partially written out, like the trailer pods were introduced, but then I ended up being like, this serves no purpose in the narrative. There's no development of either character. This accomplishes nothing. I can just get rid of this.
Mhm.
It was there for it was unneeded fan service, basically.
Yeah, it was just like to pad the runtime and be like more fighting, more killing, big match.
Right.
And no, but yeah, very happy with how this all turned out. Though again, like surprised at how much everyone is loving it, but I'm not going to complain. Obviously, the kind words obviously mean very much to me, and the criticisms I understand, take them into account. I'm not the kind of person who just like ignores criticism. Like I take all constructive criticism into my mind and work to use it.
Yeah.
If someone just says your match sucked, I'm just going to ignore them.
Pretty much best way to handle it. Just ignore those clowns that are just like, oh, it sucked. Space Godzilla Destroyer being friends? What is this?
Yeah, but stuff like, well, yeah, again, this was written a good while ago, so like, this is not quite up to like the standards I would usually have nowadays. But very happy to see how it turned out. I guess even I'm the kind of person where it's like I'm constantly putting myself down, even though other people
you could have literally written the most amazing thing in the history of fiction, and you'd still probably find something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like a god himself would be like, "Yo, this is great," and you'd be like, "Well, actually."
Yeah, no, like I'll see matches get posted, and I'll just be like, "Oh man, that match of mine." But then it just go on the forums, and everyone's just like, "Yo, this was
worst critic."
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. Like I could just write killer stuff and just be like, "This could be better. This could be a lot better."
But it's good to criticize yourself. I do need
one
to
of
gain
the
confidence.
complaints for $3.99 is that it wasn't long enough. Like, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, it needs to be longer than match 300. This needs to be like the longest match ever, except for
No.
Hidora versus Gamma round 2. But it's like it's like 28,000 words.
Right. No, it's still still there for that solid friggin' yeah, no, 28,000 some words. Oh yeah, no, that's plenty. That is plenty.
Yeah, I did consider going on the podcast today and being like giving some like speech of like, oh, I remember when I was young, like playing the KWC for the first time, reading Began versus Everyone, and then like going like, oh, I'm so happy and like I'm so touched to be like part of the KWC and like to have a match of mine be match 100. But just like fuck that, I'm happy. I'm here. Thank you for having me in the KWC. Thanks for giving me the second in command position, you idiots.
You're welcome.
You fucking losers.
I say, shooting myself in the leg on a regular basis.
But no, I am very happy to be part of the KWC. I've been burned out lately on it, but just like that'll pass.
Yes, like all things.
Yeah. Would have never imagined a few years ago me being where I am now.
Right, no kidding. Yeah, no, it's like I mean I think the same for myself. I was just like, oh yeah. Figured like, when I was just kind of glancing at the KDBC once in a while, I didn't think I would ever partake in it. 8 years later, and it's like, what the heck? This guy here.
Would have never guessed when I wrote Gyro versus Showa King Kong, like 2,000 word match. Bad.
Rejected. Sorry, not long enough. If it's not like 10,000 words, it's out the door now.
I never thought I would end up here when I did that.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
I thank you all for enjoying it. I thank you all for letting me be a part of this community.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Thank you for being here, JVR.
How do you survive?
Now we're going to move on to the KDBC E-Corner, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think just 2 matches, because one of them dropped just today, but we're just going to do 95, 96.
Well, I was gonna cover Tiga versus Jarimu.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I was going to read Tiga versus Jairu, but then I was like...
I meant to say, you actually did reply to the post, so I'm like, I was going to message you, like, you're actually going to read it then, right?
I unfortunately did not. I was like, damn it.
God,
Then the next podcast we will cover Tiga versus Jirumu, and Kaiju X will have read it.
you're really not giving us a good name, Kaiju X. Goddamn.
Did we cover Gazor versus Virus last time?
No, we didn't. It was
Okay.
It was King
Oh, we
Ghidorah
have
versus
read it
Vegeta.
over then.
Yeah, King
right.
Ghidorah versus Vegeta was the last KWCE we covered.
Then in that case, Gazora versus Virus, match KWCE 95,
Boom.
written by Fan of Stuff. I will go ahead and start us off. This was a pretty fun match. I remember getting this match a while ago. Had to do some, I wouldn't say substantial editing, but like you could tell it was from an amateur author. You could tell from someone who was like just starting out. But yeah, it was good enough to be accepted. And just overall, I very much enjoy Gazora's characterization here. And the way it like plays off of Virus being a bully. Always enjoy matches that give the Yogg trio time to shine and give them like more characterization beyond just Yogg puppet or big animal. And yeah, this uses the two squid monsters very well. Well, squid and cuttlefish. Yeah, use them very well. Underwater fights are also always appreciated. We don't have enough of those, despite how aquatic most of our monsters are.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Very much enjoy how Virus's weakness to cold is exploited by Gazora accidentally. And just, yeah. Virus using the energy bolts from his head was also good. And just, yeah, very simple match with very solid stuff.
Yep.
Look forward to anything else Fan of Stuff has to offer.
Yeah, no, I read this one, thought like kind of enjoyed it. Like yeah, it was very like simple, straightforward sort of battle. But yeah, no, sort of like the aquatic element was played up nicely enough, and again, the exploitation of Gazora's cold and Virus's weakness to cold was just kind of made for an interesting, interesting little twist. So, and I did kind of like the yeah, like it's been a little bit since I've read it, but let's see. Yeah, I know it was just like even like the ending of the match, I remember being sort of like kind of like, oh hey, that was not, like a delightful little surprise. So, but friggin' yeah, no, I like the match fine, and I even I at least got the chance to read the KWCEs.
Yeah, you read it this time.
Yay! So I at least have granted, the only offset is that it's been a couple months since they come out, so my memory's not like at its best. And it's like, bruh. But still, it was like, hooray! Yeah, no, all around still a good like yeah, no, still good stuff. Still good, like a nice little match from Fan of Stuff. So.
Harley, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was just, it's nice, it's clean, it's simple. I don't know what more you need.
Yep.
It uses very similar monsters in a very fun way while also highlighting their differences. I quite enjoyed it.
Yes.
And I hope we see more from this author in the future.
Hell
yeah.
Was this the one that was, I remember like, which was this like the first time we were ever a day late or something?
No.
I think that was the next one.
No, okay. No, this wasn't a day late. Well, no, this one wasn't a day late. I know what you're thinking of, because like the next one I posted at like almost midnight.
Okay, we
forgot.
We have not missed an upload day since we started, and I'm very proud of ourselves for that.
Yeah. Technically, we were kind of missing it on my end, but like according to TK's like standard time, it was uploaded at 11:14 p.m.
Good enough.
Yeah, we can move on to the next one. By the way, I'll read Kaiju Fan Forever's thoughts when he gets them typed up.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. KUCE 96, Godzilla Hanna-Barbera versus Godzilla Showa versus Gabara by Shipper's Dreamer, aka Harley Jameson.
That's me.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this match. Always love the a different perspective on matches, and this one is great with how it is from pretty much like what is it like from a hearing.
Carl.
Yeah.
Captain
Okay.
Majors.
Yeah. Sidetracking real quick, Kaiju Fan Forever says about 95. This was a nice match, good fight between two squiddly dids, and I adore Gazor's personality. Poor cuttlefish. Nice little match, good debut for fan stuff. Enjoyed the kill, and it's always nice to see Gazor get the win. You cheer for the little guy. Indeed. Yes, back to 96. Yeah. Seeing the Hanna-Barbera seeing my declining mental state, seeing the Hanna-Barbera characters get the spotlight is good. Especially with this like more serious take on them, without being like gritty, but it's just like more realistic take. It's good. Carl Majors is written very well as a narrator. Harley previously wrote Heisei Godzilla versus Heisei Gamera Round 2, which has a very similar feeling to it. Instead of being journals, but still just like a first-person perspective, witnessing a kaiju battle go down. Very good stuff.
I think this one's better than that one, truthfully.
I'd have to reread Heisei versus Heisei. But yes. And yeah, that aside of like the enjoyment of the uniqueness to it, there is also the usage of Gabra as a legit threat, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved his fight with Showa Godzilla and then with Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. All around, great stuff. I have idiot. Me. Stupid.
Okay, take your time. Let him cook.
I have seen some complaints about like Showa Godzilla not really appearing too long in the match. And I get that. I did suggest he get like more screen time because like he didn't really have too much in the original version, but I was like, well, because
I don't mean to cut in, but it wasn't meant to be Showa in the original version. Which Godzilla it was, other than HB, was kind of meant to be vague.
Yeah, because this was not originally a KWCE. Harley just wrote a fan fiction and then like showed it to us, and then she ended up deciding to make it a KWCE.
Yeah, I will say I reworked it like heavily for Gabra's sake, because Gabra in my fan fiction does a lot more crazy shit.
Yeah, he had like Force Lightning.
Oh my goodness! All right, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that obviously had to be changed for the KWCE, and a more specific Godzilla had to be nailed down. And yeah, I understand the complaints about like Showa Godzilla's presence, but I think it was fine.
It isn't his story.
Yeah,
it's HB Godzilla's story.
Yes. Yeah, no, overall, very solid and unique match. Yeah. Kaiju, did you read this one?
Yes, I did. No, I free. Yeah, the first person with Carl Major's perspective, it's like, not only does Harley does a great job at sort of like keeping the tension going, because it's like, you got a great sense of sort of like that human perspective tension in the situation that unfolds. So it's like a good mystery. And on top of that too, what I kind of love is that she somehow keeps the dialogue. I do not see being unfit. Like I see being very fitting to the original characters as they were, but Harley does a great job at bringing it out more naturally than I even think the show ever would have. Like what was it? Great Neptune's beard or something like that? I think one of the lines.
Like Carl is like by Neptune a lot, so I had
by Neptune. Yeah. Like able to take that, and it just works well with the characters and the circumstances, and just if they like, despite some it keeps the silliness. How should I put this? It keeps the silliness to the human characters, but it treats it straightforward and seriously, which I think makes for a really good combo of sort of like a weirdly, I don't want to say nuanced, but sort of like it's just a refreshing approach with those particular characters.
I mean, when HB Godzilla finally does show up, I even make a mention to 20 stories high, for God's sake.
Hell yeah.
And it's less of a, oh, that's cheesy, and more of a, yes, he's here!
Oh, right.
Godzilla!
Right. So.
Oh, he left.
No! Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's back.
But yeah. Okay, right. But friggin', it was just, that overall narrative thrust. Just like, it was a good thrust to keep things going. I will say it's like, okay, if like show, I understand that it's like, okay, this was repurposed from just a general fanfic to a KDBCE, and then like so it's like show Godzilla's overall part. Like I understand isn't big. I think just what would have been nice is both Godzillas actually teaming up. I think that probably would have helped.
That's fair.
I think that more if you're gonna have both Godzillas there, it feels like it doesn't take advantage of the fact that there are two Godzillas here. Yeah, they have an encounter. They're just like see you later, chump kind of thing. But it doesn't.
I mean, I will say, to be fair, Godzilla literally got impaled by an electrified space needle.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good justification for why he had to set it out.
Yeah, he set it out. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. That makes sense. It's like, okay, that's fair enough. It just would have been
if
nice
Tom had been writing this match, Showa Godzilla would have kept fighting for 5 more paragraphs.
Even after getting.
I hate that you're right.
But yeah, no, this is still just all round a stellar match. Like, oh my gosh, I think if I remember right, yes, no, that's how it went down. Because like, I think I just woke up that morning, saw that the KDBCE was out, began to read it, just being like, okay, I'm going to read it first and then get back to it later, and it just kept me in. And then all of a sudden, I think 30 minutes pass, and I can't remember. I think it may have been a Thursday, I want to say. So I don't think I had work that day. But it was like literally the first thing I did that morning. And it was great. That was so freaking good. I cannot stress enough about how good this match is, Harley. Holy props to you. Props to you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, this was just... Yeah, no, Gabra is like, again, I understand that it's sort of like the fanfic context makes a lot of sense why Gabra is depicted the way he is. But even then, menacing Gabra is still like kind of dope. It was like, hey, that's epic.
I didn't actually have to change that much. I pretty much just gave Gabra like Force Lightning a couple extra powers, basically.
Yeah.
Like the way I will actually no, I'll save it. I'll let GBR and stuff continue with. If anyone else read it. Nagoda?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. First off, Nagoda, I completely forgot you were here. So, what did you think of Ghidorah versus Virus?
Oh gosh.
Well, first of all, when was the last time you think I read a KWC?
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Nagoda, you should read the KWC. You don't need to participate, but just please read them.
Yeah, I probably should. Like
I know you don't participate in the KWCE because your head would explode from all the possibilities.
True.
Yeah, and secondly, before we can really get into your thoughts on the whole thing, Kaiju, can you go into memes real quick and just see what goes here?
Oh no.
Oh my god!
I'm sharing that.
Yeah.
Once again, another thing to share for the world. Oh my gosh!
Y'all saw mine. Y'all saw the meme I made for it, right? For Metroid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! That's amazing. Hold on
Okay, so Nagoda obviously didn't read the damn thing.
Yeah, I didn't read them.
Yeah. So Harley, okay, Kaiju X, YouTube chat.
Kaiju Man Forever also said something.
Oh yeah, let me do that first.
Here
Why am I
it
the
is.
one suddenly in charge? Good lord!
My brain melted in the last 5 minutes. I am sorry. I don't know what happened. Kaiju Fan Forever says, I really enjoyed the interview style they were going for, and it's nice to see HB Goji appear. The big green Goji was incredibly brutal. Gabra really died like an MK fighter. Was surprised to see the Gabra take... Was surprised...
Yeah.
Rev Schneider. Surprised to see Gabra take down Showa Godzilla. Also like the reference to the lyrics of the Power Hour song.
Ah, someone got it. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, YouTube chat. Kaiju X.
YouTube chat. All right. Oh yeah. Maguma said for 95, a match 95. I thought it was all right. It was definitely a bit overdue. It felt like a super obvious battle. And then for match 96, it is. I could appreciate a more human driven matchup, especially one where it's more of a first person experience being told. Then Gojira MK you know
41 MK11.
41 MK11.
God, neither KWC leader can speak.
No, I think we should take over.
You two are just as bad. Harley, you stumble over your words too, and Nagoda, like,
We'll get lost in eternity. But yeah, no, Gojira says HB showing up was incredibly hype. You did well.
Thank you. I do have to ask, what'd y'all actually think about when HB Godzilla did finally show up? Because he does show up pretty late into the story.
Yeah, no, shockingly late. I was kind of expecting it to be a little sooner, but it did feel nice because it concluded like that,
it was like the show, but
right.
good.
Yeah, kind of like the show.
Like the show, but good, yeah. But it was also just kind of like it felt like it was that not last little knot that needed to be tied up of like how Carl Majors felt about his Godzilla, and it was just sort of like finally seeing him appear. It was just like, yeah,
He's an old friend.
yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying before, like I appreciate everyone's kind words. I do very much enjoy writing this style. I think it brings out a lot of pathos and emotion and atmosphere that we don't really get that often with regular prose. Which
Yeah.
I'm not saying it cannot be done with regular prose. I just think that it brings a sort of intimacy to the story that you don't get otherwise.
Yes, agreed. Very much.
Yeah, Harley, I said this before. Your strong suit is character.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, I think it speaks to the strength of the story that, like, we know Carl survives, but it's still a gripping ride from start to finish, despite that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, because the question is, who else survives?
That's true.
Who else survives? Where's Godzilla? You know, like there are definitely other elements that keep it busy, and you can kind of like, it's like, okay, Carl survives this, but then what? You kind of fear for his experience because you don't know what he's experienced until you reach the end of the story. So I think
I went with an older Carl Majors, an older Quinn, older Brock. I debated having Pete in there, but I'm like, no, he wouldn't fit in.
No, that's fine. No, it works.
I think Godzuki and Pete, like they're the kid show part.
Yeah. Right.
And like I want to make nods to the show. Like I hope I got across this is a very loving tribute to the Hanna-Barbera show.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just like, having Godzuki and the kid show up, it's like it'd be kind of weird to have in the same match where a monster got a needle shoved through his eye.
Yeah, I know. I hope y'all didn't mind the brutality, by the way.
I never mind brutality in matches.
I know brutality is great.
Hanna-Barbera shows can be kind of violent.
Yeah.
I will admit, I flat out just forgot the color of Godzilla's flames, though. Oops. I forgot.
Well, you're also colorblind.
I'm also colorblind. Fuck you. Ableist Kaiju X. But yeah,
Kaiju's also colorblind.
How this
Or
works.
color deficient.
Even if I reworked it, basically, I'm very proud of how it turned out despite that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a minor nitpick all around. So
yeah, I personally, I do think personally it would have worked better if the identity of the other Godzilla was more vague. Because to me, that kind of gives Gabra a bit more of a boost because you don't know which one he took down. So it kind of lets your mind fill in the blank of which Godzilla did Gabra take down before HB stepped in.
Let's justify it this way. Which version of Showa Godzilla did Gabra take down?
Sure, okay.
Gigantus.
Gigantus. And I do understand the whole they should have worked together, but personally, I'm happy with the ending where they just give a nod of respect to each other and leave.
Okay,
that was
fair,
good.
That's fair.
Or like, there's a brief stare down, and Showa's just like, "Yeah, you're fine," and HB's like, "Yeah, we're cool."
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. No, that's fine. Like I said, the ending that you still made was ultimately still solid stuff. So
yeah, and I'm just very proud of at the end. Carl's like, "Can I go home now? I'm tired." Y'all had me here for like hours, and he's like, "By the way, you'll never find Godzilla. Trust me, I tried."
Mhm.
kind of a nice nod to the fact that everyone keeps fucking losing him somehow. I think Legendary is the only time they ever have a solid location on Godzilla 24/7.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes like he goes into the Hollow Earth, and it's like, how did he fast travel?
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because even Godzilla uses Hollow Earth systems to fast travel to like one location to another. Even
That's sad though that they still managed to keep track of it better than like any other franchise.
Yeah,
and even then they still lose.
By the way, I know that I did a job with Brock. What did y'all think of Carl Brock? The names kind of fused together. Sorry.
oh, every character was good in this.
No, every
I'm assuming you're going to
character
talk about the.
Quinn and Brock because they're the supporting cast basically. It's a 3-man show.
Yeah,
no, every character was both used very well and characterized very well.
yeah. I can tell this is coming from someone who does appreciate Hanna-Barbera Godzilla.
Yeah.
I think there are two of my favorite scenes. One is near the end where Carl's basically trying to convince Quinn, I need to go summon Godzilla. She's like, well, no. It's been years, Carl. He won't come. And he's like, just think of Pete. And that she's like, all right, go.
Yeah.
And I think my personal favorite scene I wrote is when the Calico is first drifting into dock in Seattle and the electricity is in the water.
Yeah.
It was a very nice, haunting image.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Also, I hope y'all appreciate the little character moment of when Godzilla appeared and the Calico got washed up. He put it back in the water like a nice little boy, like a nice boy. I go up time. He just picks up the Calico and gently puts it back in the water like a friend. But yeah, I appreciate one's kind words and thank you.
And it is oh, right. Didn't it go to, oh no, that's right, Harley, because this is Harley's match that she was lost. Yeah.
He's on Nagoda wrote this? Fuck you.
No. I just
he thought Nagoda was going to say something, even though Nagoda said very clearly, I have not read any KWCEs.
We're missing out, my man.
Don't worry, Kaiju, we're almost done. You can go to bed.
Oh no, I think we're there. Like, because again, that was the last.
Well, because that was the last match. I was just gonna say, like, real quick. Aside from just like all the matches, there was a sizable update to the KWC lately.
Oh yeah,
we added like Universal Monsters, like updated the hybrid system, just like make it more open ended and like allow more stuff. So now we have like Final Wars Kumonga, we have Showa Mothra, we got all sorts of stuff at the Universal stuff, including Shin Ultraman.
Okay, right.
Because after much deliberation and discussion, it eventually decided that like Shin Ultraman should be allowed to be hybridized with regular Ultraman. Because like even if there is one big thing he does that normal Ultraman doesn't do, it's such a specific thing that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and plus it would theoretically. It
work with normal Ultraman as well. So yeah,
right, given the way that it's sort of presented, it's like I could kind of see normal Ultraman.
Yeah, I'm avoiding spoilers just like for the sake of anyone who still hasn't seen the movie.
It's a big difference when on the contradictory one.
Yeah. Like it's something that could feasibly that normal Ultraman could feasibly do. So yeah. As well, and in addition to that, we have a forms and assist page, which helps clear things out very well.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like hyperlink to stuff.
I cannot wait to reveal the reason why we even have that to begin with, though.
I mean, I think that's for the longest time, like any sort of like add-ons, like the Legion soldiers or the Barons were connected to the monster bios.
So which on TK, which are out of date.
Yes. That's one.
And have very sporadic update schedules. So that is why we decided to take everything into our own hands.
Right.
True, but there's a specific reason why we did this, though, and it's really funny.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more to come with that, and likewise too, it was just like it was also for whatchamacallit, there was always very specific information about characters, or certain elements that you wouldn't know just by looking at it, like the Garuda.
Yeah.
Garuda is always my go-to example for this, because it's like, oh, did you know that we allowed the Garuda to use the plasma needle, something it uses in a video game and a manga? No? Well,
yeah, you would never know that unless there's a specific list of powers for it.
Yes. So I felt like it was important to relay that information,
Garuda.
Yeah, very important to relay that information like as clearly as I can. And I felt like shoving it all into the FAQ just wasn't cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, no, creation of a brand new page with sort of like, brand new page with, obviously that's like lay everything out, attach everything to a very specific character, or I think or like group of characters even. But yeah, no, I'm just all around like super happy, super proud with how the entire like this project took freaking months. Good grief. Oh, but friggin' yeah, I'm still like really happy with all the updates that I've been turning on. And while working on that, on top of that, I have also practically been researching the KWC's history. So, sort of like
Yes.
going through it, creating a general overview. Basically, what I was, incidentally, what I was trying to do was shorten the FAQ as much as I reasonably can. Because I felt like the FAQ was becoming a little bloated, and I felt like the simpler things were, and the more straightforward it is, it will be easier to kind of go through it. And then if you need any miscellaneous details, just go to these other more elaborate pages.
Hey, Bacon.
Yeah,
Hi.
something that I feel like ultimately kind of works out when it comes to those pages, because it's like now if you want statistics stuff, you got statistics stuff. You got you got the like stuff for the multimedia section. Well, now that's been pretty much compartmentalized into the multimedia tab. So that way it's like the matches and the FAQ now have a nice there's a nice little bit extra meat there compared to just the very simple straightforward page it was before. And then yeah, again, the more I could take away from the FAQ and kind of make it more into its own thing, I'll probably wind up doing that just for simplicity's sake. And I think it does help kind of streamline the entire thing as opposed to the big bloated thing it was becoming. So I was just like, thank gosh. Yeah, no, there was a lot. I may talk about more like fun facts about the studio tour page or the forums and assist page, like in the coming future. But for now, it was just, it was a lot of a ton of hard work on my part, like on the behind the scenes front, because I think I started this like what, November 2022.
Fuck.
You okay, man?
You're
No,
right.
bro. My Discord, like on the computer, because I just got home, really be like, all right, so direct messages, one message. That is not true. Discord is gaslighting me because there is no new message from anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, direct
They could have
messages.
been deleted.
Why? Nah,
Oh,
because I would get the
because my
notification.
UI glitched out and my direct message thing has a permanent 1 on it. It's so distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a 1 on there now. I don't know why it's there.
I don't know why it's there either. I can't get rid of it.
Bruh. But yeah,
So anyways, Kaiju X.
but yeah, no, yeah. As I was saying though, yeah, no, just a whole bunch of work went into it, and I did have to get through certain permission. The one thing I'll make clear right now is that like the animated elements seen in the forms of this page are exclusive to that page. They're not necessary. They're not going to carry over into the main banners or the main KWC page. So it's or like the main combatant statistics page. It will only be something for forms and assists, just because it was like building. Like it's unreasonable to like find live action assets or like create live action assets of something like the Nightmare Scorpion people. Like who really cares, So it was like it was a reasonable compromise for that area to have that. And likewise too, at least one way I can look at it is like, I mean, sure, I'll probably wind up replacing maybe some of the characters with live action assets in the coming future, but it's not necessarily going to be for right now. And like it just helps a lot easier when it comes to sort of like you use this character or these group of characters or what have you. And even then, I'm looking at it now, and there are some characters that are like, oh, I forgot about this. And we all like I message you guys. It's like, hey, would we be cool doing this, that, or that? And those updates will be coming sometime in the future. So yeah, no, there'll always be like new additions and new perks to the forms and assist page that will be coming. But in the meantime, I just hope everyone enjoys the new updates. and just yeah, no, I'm just really happy with how it all turned out. And yeah, when it comes to the Universal thing, because there were some that Anthony had like was more on the fence on, but ultimately I decided to go through with it. Slash, he is more willing to trust me with the forms for like the hybridization process, just because it's like, I got decent. I feel like I have like at least decent. Even I could be a little bit of a clown sometimes. It's like I think I got a decent enough judgment with who to do that with and who not to do that with. Even if I may not always have a reason right off the spot, sometimes if I feel real strongly about like a certain one that's like, yes, let's do this, or no, let's not do this, it's like, I have a reason for it. It just may not come to me immediately. So obviously the exception being sort of like if two characters have already fought each other in a KWC, that cannot be undone. So it's like, what, like literally Heisei King Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah's first thing is that they fight each other. And I was like, nope, that was not happening. But since the Baragon, yeah. Oh, go ahead,
I was gonna say we tried doing that. I argued for that, and unfortunately, they fought each other.
Right.
Pretty cringe, if you ask me.
Right.
I'm going back in time, and I'm stopping that match.
So, but because of circumstances like the Baragons, like funny story with that, like Greyshot did want to merge the Baragons, but I was kind of insistent though. It's like, oh, let's like I think it was just ultimately following what Anthony said, and I think it was Veron that ultimately was like, we should have had a merge to begin with. Gosh darn it. But yeah.
Kaiju X not being able to make up his mind about stuff? What a shock.
What a shocker. But yeah, it was just, no, that was an experience in of itself. And again, I may just relay like, I don't think we need a whole dedicated podcast to talk about the forms and assists, but if you got like, maybe for another one that's like, if like,
well, I was just like bringing it up because like generally like the news for the KWC.
Yeah, it's like the big news, and it's like, those were a big series of updates and a lot of like cleaning up and rearranging and whatnot. It was just, it's just so much that my brain can't like absorb all of it right now.
Yeah, we don't need to do like a podcast specifically about the forms and assist in the studio tour. Like I think it's very clear cut for everyone.
Just check it out. Check it out.
Yes, read. I know this may be difficult to people who go to a fan fiction repository, but you need to read.
Read the KWCE, please. Please read it.
Yeah, also do that. Please read the KWCE.
Yes,
and make sure you don't mix things up when your responses.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's right. I saw I read the Facebook comments for my match. It's so funny. I think one of them said, "What a cop out!"
Yeah.
Like what? Facebook continuing to be the cesspool that it is. Like let me see what they said on 399. It's really funny. What a cop out.
For those of you who haven't seen the assist page yet, you should go look at it. There's a lot of new assists, like 4 Orochis for Orochi, Triax and Crawler for Rion. What else is there? Komodo Thorax for Zilla, Yamato Takeru for Utsuno.
Assist himself in most matches.
Good on you for not having Godzilla just automatically get the dub.
I think that guy also said. I think that guy may have also said something similar with Godzilla vs. Colossal Titan. I think. So he's like, "Good on you, champ."
Are people sick of Godzilla winning, or they want him to never lose? People make up their mind.
The issue is that like people have different opinions.
Yes.
Yeah, well, stop it.
GVR and Haru right now really like
opinion.
Can you two not talk? Can you two not talk at the exact same time?
This bitch interrupted me.
Maybe you should be so quiet, bitch.
If time travel was invented in our lifetime, someone is going to go back to a much earlier KWCC while it's being recorded. Enter the chat, go, hello, I'm from the future, and I'm here to tell you Bagan is going to finally debut in a movie. He's going to debut in a puppet show for 8-year-olds, then leave without elaborating any further.
That will be me.
Just past Kaiju X. Who are you? I'm you from the future. Bagan's finally in the movie. He is? Yeah, a puppet show. What?
It's only there for 5 minutes. And it was ass.
Bro, you have no taste.
It's terrible.
No taste? No bitches?
Anyway, that'll do it for the KWCC. Thank you all for tuning into the podcast.
This is your host, GBR, over here.
Yeah.
No, thank you for carrying this one, man. I don't think I would have the energy for it.
No problem.
Holy
Yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting KWC.
hell
Like and subscribe.
Oh, gosh.
Wait, leave.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah.
GBR, you have filled your social obligations for the next month, haven't you?
No.
I will disappear for a week.
Oh my God, are you
Oh, he's gonna have to disappear for that long after that.
Oh God, he's gone mental.
He's converted to Animal Crossing.
He's gonna think Isabel's fuckable. Oh no!
No, again with that, we stay tuned for the next KWCC. Stay tuned for all the new KWC matches. My chair almost fell backwards.
Jesus Christ, dude!
No, I'm in a rocking chair and I pushed it a little too far back.
We're just gonna sign off with we just hearing a giant crash on GBR's end and a loud fuck.
I don't think it'd be too bad because the wall's right behind it, but just for my life flashed before my eyes for a moment.
Why do you have a rocking chair, you old man?
It's like a recliner. It's just in my room so that I'm not only sitting on my bed because there's no chairs in my room.
Oh my goodness.
Fair.
But yeah, no, this KWCC session, and we will see you guys next time for the next one. Probably
Yes,
for sometime in April, more than likely. I'm hoping at least.
next April.
Yeah. So
Sponsored by Toho Kingdom.
Yeah, sure. Kaiju X.
Kaiju X.
I said next April.
Yeah, next April. I'm playing next year.
We're gonna take a whole year off. It's gonna be a 10-hour KWC next year. Goddamn.
that didn't occur to me. I was like, oh yeah, no, we have an April coming up. Next April, next year. No, see you guys later.
Bye, y'all.